Right, let's go to our base, Goodison Park. Ian Dennis had the last couple of Saturdays off on the sun lounger, sipping a pina colada, so he'll be very fresh for Everton against Luton.
I'd like to think I'm always fresh, Mark.
Would you?
You just relax and you nip off to the toilet, which you've been able to do for the last two Saturdays. Anyway, with that in mind, we're underway. I should say as well, we just had a lovely minute's applause in memory of John Hurst, the former Everton defender who played for Everton between 1964 and 1976. Indeed, he appeared in the 1968 FA Cup final, and he then was a coach for Everton. He worked with Joe Royle when Joe was at Manchester City as a scout, and indeed Joe Royle is actually sat in front of us in the director's box here today. So a wonderful moment as John Hurst, who sadly passed away at the age of 76, was recognised here at Goodison Park. We're underway. Everton in their royal blue shirts and white shorts under the clear blue skies on Merseyside are defending the Gladys Street end. They're playing from left to right as we look against Luton Town in their orange shirts and their navy shorts, and I'll run through the two teams for you. Virginia is once again in goal for Everton. Patterson, Tarkowski, Branthwaite and Mikalenko are the back four. You've got Onana and Garner and Harrison and McNeil as Calvert-Lewin and Beto. 4-4-2 for Everton as Townsend against his former club wins the ball over on that far side to right and delivers across into the penalty area. Adebayo and Morris both had little nibbles. Comes out to Doherty, left-footed volley, doesn't keep it down. Krul is in goal for Luton Town. A back three of Bell, Burke and Mengi. The wing-backs Doughty and Obeni, Lokonga, Barkley, Townsend, Morris and Adebayo. Alongside me, Izzy Christensen. And that was an early opening for Luton.
Yeah, an early one for Mikalenko, just getting caught in possession by Andros Townsend, who I'm absolutely fascinated to see him perform this afternoon after just leaving Everton, going to Luton.
Yes, 27 appearances and 7 goals during his spell at Goodison Park, which was badly hampered by injury. Celtic, incidentally, have taken the lead. News of it, Conor McLaughlin.
Yeah, Celtic 1, Ross County 0. Early start for the home side. A deflected effort fell to the feet of Alistair Johnson, who trundled it into the back of the net. It was checked by VAR, but the goal stands. Celtic 1, Ross County 0. And
that was earlier for the full-time score in Paisley for the lunchtime kick-off. St Mirren 0, Rangers 1. So Rangers had moved to within 2 points of Celtic ahead of that game kicking off at Parkhead, where both had played 22 games. But of course Rangers will have another game in hand after it's finished for Celtic against struggling Ross County, but Celtic already ahead. It's the usual goal service on this Saturday afternoon as Townsend plays the ball back, and then Lokonga out towards that far side where Obeni will play the ball back in towards Ross Barkley, another ex-Evertonian getting booed in there as he hits it left-footed, dipping effort, off-target goal kick. We're going to go racing now. It's the hurdle race at Cheltenham. John Hunt.
Just turning for home, all eyes on Lossiemouth to see what she can deliver here, Ian. She's in third place, going well to the last flight of hurdles, but still got Roubaud and Love Envoy to pass. The other two, First Street and Guard Your Dreams, look well beaten off, and Lossiemouth is now rapidly coming into contention and jumps the last just in front and quickens 2 to 3 lengths clear on the bridle. This is really impressive. Lossiemouth is coming home effortlessly clear of Love Envoy and Roubaud. My word, she's won well. Lossiemouth then right back in business. She's won in by 10 lengths there, and Ian, the question mark now will where she goes at the Cheltenham Festival, because the stable, that of Willie Mullins, have a whole array of talent, including State Man, who runs next week. But Lossiemouth has returned to action with a bang. That was hugely impressive.
Certainly sounded it as well. Thanks, Sean. We'll be back with you for the Cleve Hurdle Chase at 3:35. 4 minutes played. Everton 0, Luton 0. I guess it was always going to be hard to follow the drama of Maidstone United beating Ipswich Town, and the first non-league side since Boreham Wood to reach the 5th round. Boreham Wood 2 years ago lost to Everton at the 5th round stage. So I'm sure the supporters will be desperately hoping for a kind draw in tomorrow's 5th round draw that takes place tomorrow afternoon. As we welcome listeners from the BBC World Service, you've been enjoying your build-up with Lee and Paul Robinson at Bramall Lane, where you're live today, and here we are at Goodison Park under the clear skies where it remains 0-0. But wherever you are in the world, it's always a pleasure to have your company, and you haven't missed anything so far. We're in the company of Izzy Christensen as Everton yet to get going. as McNeil loses the ball in the midfield. Been quite a tight opening 5 minutes.
Yeah, it has, and Luton have actually already had 3 attempts on goal. All 3 have gone over the bar, but Luton definitely started the brighter team. Ross Barkley pulling the strings in the midfield, playing a little bit deeper, but Luton certainly look the better side so far.
He's been booed by a few of the Everton fans. 179 appearances and 27 goals during his time at Goodison, as Tarkowski just steps out into that challenge and stops Adebayo. St Johnstone lead Motherwell by a goal to 0 at McDermott Park. Crewe 0, Salford 1 is the latest score in League 2, as Beto was sent away but couldn't get past Mengi. And Wigan are leading Stevenage in League 1. Wigan 1, Stevenage 0. Beto, who's actually yet to score in 5 starts for Everton. His recent appearances have all been off the bench, but a rare starting appearance for Beto alongside Calvert-Lewin. 0-0 it remains, but Luton win the ball. Here is Townsend. Garner gets his foot into the challenge. Branthwaite now brings it out of defence. Forward ball, Calvert-Lewin, but the 3 central defenders had that covered. Mengi and Burke, and back towards Tim Krul, away towards our right hand side. Here is Barkley, confident. A goal at Millwall in the Championship, Paul Scott.
5 minutes gone. It is Millwall 1, Preston North End 0. Across from the right from George Honeyman, headed home by Zian Fleming from 6 yards out. Millwall 1, Preston 0.
Preston have lost their last 3 away from home. Millwall going into that game though with 3 straight defeats. Ball pumped up high towards Calvert-Lewin, bounces off the top of his head. Beto holds it up back towards Harrison. Luton clear, only as far as James Garner rolls the ball out towards Mykolenko. Diagonal ball in towards the penalty area. Cushion header from Doughty will find Morris. Goal in League 2 at Doncaster, Jonathan Ledyard.
The leaders Stockport lead by a goal to 0 after 5 minutes. 2 corners in quick succession. Paddy Madden, free header from 8 yards out. Doncaster 0, Stockport 1.
Doncaster really are out of form. 1 win in 8. The goals as they go in on BBC Radio 5 Live. But a confident enough start from Luton.
Yeah, really sharp start from Luton. But the game's really got a bit of a zip to it. It's really good to watch both teams at the moment. You can tell the players have just been, they've had a little bit of a break. They just want to get back out there. And there's a really nice tempo to the match so far.
Yes, Luton last played in that replay. Well, in fact, they both played in the replays. Luton against Bolton on the 16th of Jan, and Everton against Crystal Palace a day later. And they're both in action on Tuesday night as well in the Premier League. And 5 Live will bring you from next Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday consecutive nights of live Premier League coverage on BBC Radio 5 Live. Updating the Rugby Union, Bristol Bath. Molly
yes,
Stevens.
Bristol 0, Bath 5. It's taken just 2 minutes for Bath to pick up where they left off in the league. Joe Coquelin-Anasiga running through down to the touchline. He scored the try, but Scotland's Finn Russell misses the conversion. Bristol 0, Bath 5.
BBC Radio 5 Live, FA Cup 4th round weekend. We've got Fulham Newcastle to come at Craven Cottage from 7. On Sports Extra at the moment is the contest at Bramall Lane, being watched for us by Lee Blakeman.
United 0, Brighton 0, home team on top. They've just had a great chance. Brereton Diaz shot blocked inside the area. Appeals for the handball that was part of that block waved away. Sheffield United 0, Brighton 0.
Yes, VAR in operation at the Premier League grounds as Tim Krul, all in bright pink away towards our right, hits a ball that is pinged out towards O'Benny on that far side. O'Benny battles for the ball and plays it back. And then it's Rhys Berg who tries to slide it into the feet of Adebayo, lays it back out to O'Benny. In comes the cross from that right hand side, and there is Branthwaite, who won the Dutch Cup with PSV last season when he was out on loan in PSV Eindhoven, and Everton get the ball away. We're yet to really see much of Everton as an attacking force.
Yeah, you can see they've started with Beto and Dom Calvert-Lewin as the 2, causing all sorts of problems for Luton. 3 central defenders, but Everton have yet to find the groove.
Well, they're coming forward now with Calvert-Lewin. He's got Harrison in support if he can find him. Calvert-Lewin looks up, he plays it short. Beto with a strike, low right-footed, just off target. Harrison might have been complaining, could I have got the ball any earlier? But as it was, he waited for Beto, and it was a goal kick. But certainly Everton's best attack so far.
Yeah, brilliant from Everton. You've got the 2 centre forwards I just mentioned there, just combining. Calvert-Lewin taking all the space, rolling it into the path of Beto, and that just shaves past the post, past Tim Krul. Excellent chance for Everton.
Certainly was. We go back to Lee Blakeman at Bramall Lane.
Brighton have had a goal disallowed, so it's still 0-0. Cross from the right. Ferguson rose highest, headed it in. Offside flag up on this near side. Sheffield United 0, Brighton 0.
Tim Krul, the Dutch goalkeeper for Luton Town, is going to take the goal kick. They're in no real hurry. Of course, 5 ties were already played even before today. Only Bournemouth and Manchester City, though, through. Chelsea, Villa, Sheffield Wednesday, Coventry, Bristol City, Nottingham Forest will have to do it all again. But Maidstone United, if you haven't heard our earlier commentary on BBC Radio 5 Live, 4th in the National League South, 98 places beneath Ipswich Town, knocking them out. What an upset that was. And although we've already brought you some reaction, there will be further stories to tell from Portman Road, either at half-time or indeed Sports Report, where we've got a full hour a little later on between 5 and 6 to fully digest that terrific cup success for Maidstone United of National League South. No other goals elsewhere. Free kick in favour of Luton Town. It was an offside decision against Everton. With Luton Town, who are looking to try and win their first ever domestic cup tie against Everton. 7 domestic cup ties in their history. The last 3 have been in the League Cup, but they've never knocked Everton out of a domestic cup tie. Elsewhere in the FA Cup 4th round, Leicester City, Birmingham City. Pat Murphy.
0-0, bright start for Birmingham though. Mashiri has gone very close just now with a dipping left footer. Leicester's habit of playing it out of defence could rebound on them. Leicester 0, Birmingham 0.
Did you ever pay much attention to facts like that or quirks?
Yeah, I'm always interested.
Yeah. You'd have had a little ground, wouldn't you, that you'd have always done well on in your career?
Yeah, quite a few.
Oh, quite a few.
I'm only joking.
I would hope that one of them was here when the games that you did play at Goodison.
Had a better memory at Anfield, I must admit, when we beat them in the derby.
Here is Ross Barkley, former Everton player. And now it's back with Amari Bell to Tim Krul. I remember you just a few years ago, you opened up the season, was it against Manchester City?
Yeah, here, not a good result.
No, it wasn't. And then Willie Kirk was the manager.
Forgot about that one.
Yeah, glad I brought it up. 12 minutes played. 0-0 in these early stages. Another goal at Doncaster, Jonathan Ledyard.
So much for Stockport's problems on the road. They now lead by 2 goals to 0 at Stockport. An own goal by Owen Bailey, who's been one of Rover's best players this season. Lovely run again by Connor Lemonhay Evans. The defence for Doncaster absolutely nowhere, which is why they trail 2-0.
Lead is going well. Dave Challinall's side there as Doughty forward on this near side, the left. Delivers the cross and the goalkeeper claims it under pressure from Adebayo. You know, I heard an interesting statistic. I was having a little chat with one of the various scouts who's here today, and they were saying that as the cross comes in from Mikolenko just over Calvert-Lewin, picked up by Harrison on the right-hand side, and now it's with Onana. Back with Harrison once more. Blue shirts to aim for. Flat ball in, comes off the head of Burke. Out of play, it might go for a corner kick. Townsend will get there first and clears it long. On average, Luton Town, after 22 passes, will deliver a cross. It's quite impressive, that.
That, to me, seems like it's because of the system they play with wing-backs, and that is the way that you play with wing-backs. You look to get the ball wide, forward, and it's working so far today as well.
0-0. Yeah, they've certainly put a number of balls in the box in these early stages. It remains goalless, 14 minutes played. We've heard from Lee at Sheffield United. We've heard from Pat at Leicester City. What about Maz Faruqi at Ellen Road in the FA Cup?
Goalless here as well, but great chances for Plymouth and Whittaker at one end before first Anthony, and then a deflected Nonto strike hit the post and then the crossbar seconds apart at the other. Entertaining, really good stuff here, but Leeds 0, Plymouth 0 still.
Thank you, Mouse. That game at Bramall Lane is on Sports Extra. Everton have got a throw far side the left. In fact, there's been a goal there now, Lee Blakeman.
What a goal this is. Sheffield United 0, Brighton 1. Buonanotte picked it up, put in a shot 25 yards out, and it flew into the top corner. What a strike. Sheffield United 0, Brighton 1.
Looking to extend their unbeaten run as Burke and Onana are both down and getting some treatment. It was Burke who had to make that sliding challenge, but he was an acrobatic. He almost went head over heels, did Onana?
Yeah, he did. He was running at some speed. It's an excellent tackle by Burke, by the way, just covering, sweeping Onana had made that forward run and it was just fractions away from getting a touch on it. It would have been a blatant penalty.
So Onana at the moment is still flat out on his back. Reece Burke is back to his feet, although he is walking a little gingerly at the minute, but Onana is still getting treatment as Everton get ready to take that throw on that far side, the left. Let's get an update in the Championship. It's the Stadium of Light, Sunderland, Stoke City. Charlie Slater.
16 minutes gone, still 0-0 here, but John Ho goes close at one end from 25 yards out, drawing a good save from the keeper, and at the other, Jack Clark for Sunderland. He really snatches at one and blazes it over. He should have hit the target and could have scored. 0-0.
Now in League One, Fleetwood have lost all 4 games under Charlie Adam, but they have taken the lead at Wycombe. Wycombe 0, Fleetwood 1. One of our many featured games in League One is at Vale Park. Katie Smith.
Yeah, it's Port Vale 0, Portsmouth 0. Port Vale starting pretty strongly against the leaders. Remember, they've had 3 weeks off league football due to postponements and abandonments. They are starting well. They've had a couple of chances. Nothing on target. Yeah, 0-0.
Another one's at Sincil Bank. Chris Coles.
Where it's Lincoln 0, Peterborough 0. Lincoln have started very brightly. Rico Hackett firing their best chance over the bar. Peterborough looking flat. 0-0.
Stevenage, though, have equalised at Wigan in League One. Wigan 1, Stevenage 1. 4 points separate the top 5 from Portsmouth all the way down to Barnsley, a very congested top of the table in League One. Onana is back on his feet, still off the field of play. In comes the throw from the left, only as far as Patterson, who hits that. He's absolutely skied it, and it's off target. It's a goal kick. We'll dip into League Two. Wimbledon-Mansfield. Aaron Paul.
Wimbledon 0, Mansfield 0. Mansfield aiming to end a run of 3 winless games here, but they've started to pour the 2 sides. Omar Begill and Armani Little have both had sights on Christy Pym's goal. Good saves by the Mansfield keeper. Wimbledon 0, Mansfield 0.
Onana eventually will come back onto the field of play on that far side. Not running freely at the moment, still grimacing a little as he just looks to the heavens on this dry, bright afternoon on Merseyside. Is he Christensen?
Yeah, Onana's played a pretty crucial role for Everton this season in midfield, and it's really great to see James Garner as well playing centrally. I think that's where he preferred to play, but he's had to work his way in there.
Just while you were talking there, I nearly lost my commentary notes. That would have made for an interesting second half. Bristol Rovers 1, Oxford United 0 is the latest score in League One, as Townsend turns far side the right and then just overhits it and just shows a little bit too much of the ball to McNeil. Back towards João Virginia. Only his 6th appearance for the young Portuguese goalkeeper, as Onana climbs high. It's a forceful header forward, and then Bell plays it back towards Krul. Good first touch though from Tim Krul. As Beto closed him down, he cleared it. Patterson climbs to head the ball back. Bell unable to go back because of Beto and Calvert-Lewin cutting off the back pass to the keeper. They then get it out towards O'Benny on that far side. Barnsley 0, Exeter 1 is the latest score at Oakwell. That's somewhat of a surprise. Barnsley undefeated in 11 games, but behind in South Yorkshire, as Barkley comes forward, the former Everton player, and it breaks down on the Luton right-hand side and up towards Calvert-Lewin now. Short of the halfway line, plays it forward. And it was Onana going and making that streaking run down the left-hand side as we get an update from the Rugby Union. Molly Stevens.
Bristol 12, Bath 5. Bristol respond almost instantly to Bath's early try with 2 themselves. A driving maul forces Will Cape on over, while, hang on, I thought there was going to be another one then. No, while some beautiful link-up attacking play and countless missed tackles sees Joe Batley dive over for the second, and Jaco Koitzer, the Bath player, has just been sent off for a high tackle. Not sent off, sent to the sin bin. Bristol 12, Bath 5.
Bradford City, without a win in 6 in League 2, have fallen behind at the county ground. Swindon lead Bradford by a goal to 0. Walsall leads Sutton by a goal to 0 also in League 2. Everton have got a free kick. It's 0-0. Garner to take it far side the left, doesn't beat the first man, headed out by Barkley to Andros Townsend, who now releases Morris, and Morris has got a lot of room to run into on this near side, curbed by the presence of Branthwaite. Diagonal forward ball cleared away by Garner, who was covering, and Luton pick it up with O'Benny on the far side. What have you made of the opening 19 minutes?
Yeah, well, Luton started on top, but I tell you what, Everton have managed to get their way back into it. Really even at the moment. I'm really enjoying Branthwaite stepping in from centre back, pushing Everton forward, and here they go again.
And here is McNeil inside to Calvert-Lewin, turns with his back to goal, loses the ball. Townsend pushes it out wide. O'Benny won't get there, and Mikolenko lets it go to play for a throw. Everton just starting to show signs now, aren't they, of getting more of an even keel in this FA Cup fourth round tie. It's goalless at Ellen Road, Leeds Plymouth, 0-0 between Leicester and Birmingham, and we know that Brighton are ahead at Sheffield United. The latest from Lee Blakeman.
There shouldn't be any longer. Sheffield United should be level. Great game this. Asula's just rounded the keeper, put in a shot. It was blocked just in front of the goal line. Then Harmer's follow-up, blocked from just in front of the line as well. Good game. Sheffield United 0, Brighton 1.
Burke beaten to that ball in the midfield by Beto. Now McNeil forward of the centre circle. Beto challenged by Bell, won the ball fairly, says the referee, who is Simon Hooper. Got a good look at that as well, as Townsend now carries the ball forward. O'Benny on his right hand side, plays it back. Leyton Orient leading at Reading by a goal to 0 in League One. Reading 0, Leyton Orient 1. As it's 0-0 here, with Burke now on the halfway line. Forward ball, Townsend, almost midway through the Everton half. Out towards O'Benny, the Irish international, looks for the return ball. He's got plenty of pace. There was Mikolenko, who looked to try and marshal it out, and he got a push in the back and did so well. Did so very effectively.
Yeah, brilliant from Mikolenko. Andros Townsend just trying a little 1-2 there with Ogbenny, but Mikolenko getting his body in the way, just trying to usher it out, I think, for a goal kick, but ends up getting a foul. But another player who's come on leaps and bounds this season is Mikolenko at left back for Everton.
Livingston 0, Dundee 1 is the latest score in the Scottish Premiership. Tomorrow from 8:30 we'll have the Australian Open tennis, the men's final. Yannick Sinner against Daniel Medvedev, 8:30 on BBC Radio 5 Live. That should take us all the way through to the football for that early start. West Bromwich Albion against Wolverhampton Wanderers. What a tasty affair that will be at 11:45 at the Hawthorns. Leicester City, Birmingham City. Pat Murphy.
Still 0-0. Birmingham still impressing, but Leicester could have scored just now. Vardy. It was Vardy territory. Put through. He showed too much of it to Ruddy, who got there just in time to hack clear. Leicester 0, Birmingham 0.
Now Wimbledon had 2 players sent off in midweek, and there's been another dismissal today at home to Mansfield. But to who to? Aaron Paul.
To Mansfield. Wimbledon 0, Mansfield 0. The visitors down to 10. And this is really naive from Jordan Barry. Josh Davison, the Wimbledon forward, just bustling, playing off the shoulder. He's turned his man, and Barry's just hauled him down. It was sort of like a rugby tackle as Wimbledon go on the attack. Here comes Tilly, and is just negotiated over the bar by the head of Aidan Flint. Wimbledon 0, Mansfield down to 10-0.
Forest Green appointed Steve Cottrell as their new manager on Thursday without a win in 12. They've fallen behind though. Forest Green 0, Accrington 1. Accrington not exactly in great form themselves, without a win in 5 in League 2. 0-0 here. We're almost midway through the first half. Neither keeper has had a shot to save so far.
No, but Luton have certainly had the better of the chances. I say more frequent. The best chance has definitely come to Beto, though. The one that actually took a bit of deflection.
That was the best chance. It was a little off target. Move breaks down for Everton on the edge of the area. Notts County 0, Barrow 1 is the latest score in League 2. Bristol Rovers now lead Oxford United 2-0 in League 1. You're up to date with the goals as they go in. BBC Radio 5 Live, BBC Sounds, and also live on the World Service. 23 minutes played at Goodison Park. The Everton flag with the white crest on that royal blue background flying proudly on that far side as a diagonal ball is put in, and Luton Town go close. It was Adebayo's downward header off target, goal kick, 0-0.
Oh, what a ball that is from Morris. He gets the ball on the half turn in midfield into that pocket in between Harrison and Onana. A brilliant little turn, and then he just looks to float the ball beyond Branthwaite. And Adebayo just couldn't quite connect with it. I think he thought that he was under more pressure than what he had, but that's a big chance.
It is a big chance, and it was wide. Virginia had made the diving save to his right, as it was always going away off target. Sutton have equalised incidentally at Walsall. 1-1 in League 2 now. Walsall 1, Sutton 1. No other goals elsewhere. Luton clear. Tarkowski inside now to James Garner. Both these two sides were taken to replays in the previous round. They will certainly not want to have another fixture where their priorities, of course, are Premier League survival. Everton are at Fulham on Tuesday. Luton are at home to Brighton and Hove Albion. Mikolenko from left back plays the forward ball towards Beto, and there is Tim Krul, who will gather it away on the right hand side of his penalty area. This is Albert Sambi Lokonga in the midfield for Luton. Out to Doughty, tries to get past Patterson, who stands up to him. Out of play it goes for a throw, and Doughty will wait to take it on this near side the left as Luton play from right to left as we look. Rob Edwards, who turned 41 on Christmas Day, the edge of his technical area, hands on hips, shouting out the orders as Reece Burke carries the ball forward into Everton territory, out towards O'Benny. Townsend has gone on ahead of him. Inside it's to Lokonga, back towards Burke. Burke's going to switch play now for Luton Town. It's a high ball, brought off the chest by Doughty, level the penalty area on the left-footed cross into the box, eventually cleared, stubbed back into the ground by Barkley from the edge of the D. That was cleared again. Burke now will win it back. Burke to the edge of the area, plays it in. Adebayo seemed to take it out of the path of his own player Morris, is he?
Yeah, he did, and Adebayo's little touch that he got on it, Morris, you just wonder whether he gave him a shout, because that little nick, it was going to fall straight into the path of Morris for a first time finish.
Now Everton can break. Harrison, his forward ball to Calvert-Lewin. The Everton fans just growing a little restless inside Goodison Park. Reading have equalised incidentally at home to Leyton Orient. Reading 1, Leyton Orient 1, and at Tynecastle, Hearts 0, Aberdeen 1. And we'll stay in Scotland. Conor McLaughlin at Celtic.
I was just about to tell you that Lewis Palmer missed a penalty. It was a lacklustre effort from him. However, the referee, Ewan Anderson, after a couple of minutes has decided actually needs to retake it again. So come back to me and I'll tell you if he scores it second time around. It's still Celtic 1, Ross County 0.
Will indeed. Thank you, Connie. Morecambe 0, Colchester 1. The latest score in League 2. Luton Town in possession, far side the right with Andros Townsend, and he wins a corner kick for Luton on that far side. Now this is where there could be a real threat.
Yeah, you just see Dwight McNeil and Mikolenko doubling up on Andros Townsend, their former teammate. They know that he's got a really good left foot, knowing that he wants to come back inside off that right wing and cut inside and look for that whip delivery into the box. But like you say, Dano, it's a big opportunity for Luton, who've got themselves back on top now.
And Doughty's wandered across towards that far side the right, so this should be an in-swinging corner kick off the left foot of Alfie Doughty. Everton have got every Royal Blue shirt back inside the penalty area. Doughty to take it. It swings, it's deep towards the far post. Burke with his header there as well. And then preventing it reaching O'Benny was Harrison, who scampers after it. Doughty's there, plays the ball forward. Barkley right corner of the area, enters the box, looks for the shooting opportunity. Calvert-Lewin gets the foot into the challenge. Townsend plays it in, strikes the body of the Everton player, and then there was a chance on the edge of the box for Luton Town, but Simon Hooper has spotted a foul and a free kick, and it was a challenge on Beto, Mikolenko rather, yeah. And it will be a free kick to Everton, is it?
Yeah, it was the second phase from the corner. The initial corner came in from Townsend, whipped, headed back across goal, and the ball sort of ricocheted back out to Barkley, who looked to cross it in, and then it was Mengi on the edge of the box, the centre back for Luton, who's just gone through Mikolenko, but he had every right to go for the ball, but Everton do have a free kick from it.
We'll be going racing very, very soon. We're waiting for that retaken penalty at Celtic Park. Meanwhile, a spot kick at Bramall Lane. Lee Blakeman.
It's been given to Brighton. João Pedro brought down inside the penalty area. It was a messy collision, and now he's going to take this penalty. Brighton already leading by a goal to nil. Referee makes sure everybody stays outside the 18 yards area. Huge moment in what has been a really entertaining game so far. It is João Pedro about to step up. 15 goals already this season. It's a slow run up, but he sends the keeper the wrong way, and Brighton lead at Bramall Lane by 2 goals to nil.
So those two sides who beaten semi-finalists in last year's FA Cup, Brighton are now 2-0 up at Bramall Lane. That's on Sports Extra. That goal for Aberdeen, incidentally, was disallowed after VAR, so at Tynecastle it remains Hearts 0, Aberdeen 0. 26 minutes played here at Goodison Park. 0-0 as it is elsewhere in the other fourth round ties. Leeds United and Plymouth, Leicester City and Birmingham. Commentary from 7 on 5 Live of Fulham Newcastle United at Craven Cottage. James Garner along the ground to Beto, tries to turn away from his man, but he's being held very tightly by Mengi, and Everton get a free kick. The Everton supporters are not happy. That was a real battle between two physical players.
Yeah, it's been a real battle so far, with Beto and Calvert-Lewin up against the 3 Luton centre-backs. But the fans behind that goal are screaming as soon as the ball went in the box. They'd obviously seen some contact on Beto, and that is the type of player he is. He lures in tackles. Yeah, there is contact. They've got a bit of each other's shirt, and then the referee ironically gave the free kick outside the box.
Yes. Yeah, VAR of course is in operation today. David Coote is watching on at Stockley Park. But this is a free kick for Everton. It's about 12 yards up from the byline. It's left of the penalty area. It's 0-0 still, half an hour played. Luton have got every orange shirt back inside that box. It's fired in now, headed out by Barkley, comes out to Harrison. Harrison shoots, strikes Reece Burke in his midriff. Adebayo picks it up. Adebayo over the halfway line, and Onana runs it out of play for a throw. No longer goalless at Ellen Road. Maz Faruqi.
Goal for Leeds from Jadon Anthony. Really lovely individual goal. Picked at the ball, round on the left-hand side, past 3 Plymouth players, firing into the back of the net, and then takes off his shirt to reveal a tribute that he's written underneath to his mother who passed away recently. Leeds 1, Plymouth 0.
Plymouth, who are yet to win away from home this season, and Leeds United are actually unbeaten at Ellen Road. They've won 12 and drawn 4 of their previous fixtures at home. As Luton Town with O'Benny, right corner of the area, enters the box, chips over the ball, claimed by Virginia. Elsewhere, Leicester City, Birmingham, Pat Murphy.
Still goalless, but Stolajic in the Leicester goal, who hasn't impressed with his distribution so far, has just made 2 excellent sprawling saves to deny Anderson and James. Birmingham still on top. Leicester 0, Birmingham 0.
At Rugby Park, Kilmarnock lead Hibs by 1-0 in the Scottish Premiership, and at McDermott Park, Motherwell have equalised. St Johnstone 1, Motherwell 1. 5 Live, the World Service, BBC Sounds, 14 minutes to half-time.
Yeah, just that late chance moments earlier from Luton, just sliced through the middle of Everton's midfield with a throw-in. Lokonga switched it out to Townsend, and then the ball came across. It came to nothing, but that's just how easy it was.
Harrison slides it through. Beto enters the penalty area, plays it, digs it out towards McNeil, flat-footed, couldn't get there. The move breaks down on the edge of the penalty area. That's the voice of Izzy Christiansen, the former England international. She finished her playing career here at Everton. Indeed, he began it at Everton. Nice bit of symmetry for you there.
Full circle.
Full circle. Everton now with Beto. Slipped through by Calvert-Lewin. Beto steadies himself. Then has his back to goal. Pulls it back. Onana over 30 yards out from goal. Onana still holds on to it, but the options have severely reduced to Patterson. Cross comes in from the right, cleared away by the Luton defence. Barnsley 0, Exeter 2, Carlisle 0, Bolton 1, Wickham 0, Fleetwood 2. And I've been wondering about that retaken penalty. You've kept us in suspense, Connie.
Right, I won't do it much longer. Celtic 1, Ross County 0. That tells its own story. It was Lewis Palmer who went up to take the retake of the penalty. You're thinking, right, this is his chance to redeem himself. Absolutely wrong. Same relaxed run up, missed again. 2 penalties missed in 2 minutes. Celtic 1, Ross County 0.
Thanks, Connie. Everton forward. McNeil edge of the area. He's played that ball into the inside left channel of the penalty area. Looked towards Garner, and he's overhit it, and it runs out for a goal kick. As one of our other featured games in League One is at Brunton Park. Adam Cottier.
Carlisle 0, Bolton Wanderers 1. A wonderful volley from Zach Ashworth, cushioned over the top of the goalkeeper after a diagonal pass went his way. Carlisle 0, Bolton 1.
Fleetwood 2-0 up then at Wickham. Charlie Adam will hope that that's his first success. 12 minutes to go to half time, and it remains 0-0. And we've had efforts off target, and still neither keeper has had a serious shot to save. They're a little bit redundant at the minute, and Messrs Virginia and Krul.
They are, but that story, don't be fooled by it, because it's been an excellent game, especially in the midfield. The way that both teams have broken out of that structure, it's been open, it's been exciting.
Adebayo. Luton get a throw. When they came here in September in the Premier League, Luton won by 2-1. Tom Lockyer actually got the first Luton goal, and in his programme notes today, Sean Dyche does extend his warmest wishes to Tom Lockyer as he continues to convalesce. He's had the ICD fitted. Now he's in a period of rehabilitation, and we would also extend our warm wishes to Tom Lockyer as well. It was actually Luton's first win in 10 visits since 1989, as Everton finally, in the opinion of Sean Dyche, judging by his reaction, and also the supporters, get a free kick which is taken quickly. Mikolenko makes great strides into the penalty area and brings it under control, but his shot is a little bit off target, and Luton get the ball away, but then Everton win it back. Garner doesn't keep it in play. Just wants a goal again.
I tell you what, Deno, you will not see a better pass today than that pass from Tarkowski into the path of Jack Harrison across the pitch. It must have travelled 70 yards into the path of him. Everton should have scored.
Always good to hear the voice of Jonathan Ledyard, and you've got another goal.
I have. It's Stockport's as well. It's a goal for Conor Lemonhay-Evans from a corner, What is going on in the Doncaster defence? They just don't seem to pick up those in blue shirts. Doncaster 0, Stockport 3.
Grimsby 0, Tranmere 1 is the latest score in League 2. Another goal at Millwall in the Championship, Paul Scott.
34 minutes on the clock. It is Millwall 1, Preston 1. An equaliser for the visitors. Japhet Tanganga gave it away in midfield. Brad Potts was in behind and he coolly converted into the bottom corner. Millwall 1, Preston 1.
This is Everton with Patterson. Under pressure from Adebayo. He turns and clears up towards Beto. Over his head. Calvert-Lewin makes the run in behind. Burke has gone with him. And then the ball is out of play and it'll be a Luton throw. They're underway at Cheltenham. It's the Cleve Hurdle, John.
Yes, 12 flights of hurdles, and they're at the first now, Ian, and all eyes on Paisley Park. He was a bit scrappy at the first, but bidding to create history. No horse has won this race 4 times. He's bidding to do that. One of his old slugging compatriots, Dashel Drasher, out in front of Champ early on, but they're away for the Cleve Hurdle.
Thank you, John. Onana shoots, takes the deflection, falls to Beto, and he's pulled up well wide. The flag, it wouldn't have counted anyway. The flag was raised. So initially Simon Hooper gave the corner kick, but he's now given the free kick. And Beto, I think, will be rather relieved, is he?
Yeah, he will. But that's a brilliant little bit of play from Everton. It was Onana with the shot from distance on his left foot. He drove it really nicely on his weaker foot. But that bit of play came from the 2 centre forwards for Everton, Beto and Dom Calvert-Lewin, combining really well. They're starting to really grow into the game.
Updating the Rugby Union, Molly Stevens.
Bristol 26, Bath 15. Bath's Tom Dunn has just scored their second try after a 20-minute spell of Bristol just running rings around Bath, who are down to 13 men. 2 players in the sin bin, Lewis Croyder and Jakob Koitzer. 28 minutes played here. Bristol 26, Bath 15.
11 minutes to go to half-time. It's still Everton 0, Luton Town 0. As McNeil gives chase. O'Benny is back with him. The 2 number 7s, and out of play it goes for a goal kick to Luton Town, as we'll nip back to Cumbria. Adam Cottier.
Carlisle 0, Bolton 2 now. Paris Magoma with the latest Bolton goal. Another of their low knees. Lovely shuffle in the box onto his right foot, and his low shot beat the keeper. Carlisle 0, Bolton 2.
The 5th round draw is tomorrow afternoon. We'll have news of that on BBC Radio 5 Live. Maidstone United of the National League South will be in it. Those supporters will still be cock-a-hoop after travelling back home from Portman Road after seeing their side win by 2-1. Sure, we'll try and bring you some reaction at half-time to that success. If not, it will certainly be in the Sports Report. And if you're back home by then in Kent, then you can of course listen to the 5 Live Football Daily. As Everton with a cross, McNeil on the run, his header straight at Krul. Back to Bramall Lane, Lee Blakeman. Can't get to lead just yet. We will try. That was a good header.
I can tell you what I'm laughing at, Dano, and that was James Tarkowski. I said a moment earlier that he won't do a better pass today. He's just done exactly the same pass into the path of Harrison, and then Dwight Neal with the header on goal. But it's a replica situation from Everton, poor from Luton.
And that was the first real effort on target. 34 minutes played. McNeil testing Tim Krul. Harrison turns, runs into Bell, rebounds off his shins to Doherty. Inside now towards Barkley, opens up with an opportunity for Lokonga, edge of the area, takes the deflection and will run wide and off target, and eventually Simon Hooper, after much deliberation, had a look at it and says it's going to be a corner kick. We'll try again with Lee at Bramall Lane.
If at first you don't succeed and all that, Brighton 2-0 up, but it should be 3. Joao Pedro in behind, inside the penalty area, just the keeper to beat, and he cleared the crossbar from 12 yards. Sheffield United 0, Brighton 2.
Grimsby have equalised in League 2. Grimsby 1, Tranmere 1, and Wigan 2, Stevenage 1 is the latest score in League 1. We've got about 6 minutes to go to half-time, and Luton Town have got a corner kick. They're playing from right to left as we look, and it's Doughty to take it. It should be another in-swinger, and it goes all the way in, and Luton Town have taken the lead close towards half-time. Now, who got the touch from that? Because that pesky pillar got in the way from Doughty's in-swinging corner. It might well have been Ross Barkley, if anybody, but Luton Town are 1-0 up.
Well, the Luton players are celebrating with Ross Barkley. He's running off very humbly, I must admit, but we can't quite see who's got the touch.
Everton are having a word with Simon Hooper. It's saying it's going to be checked. It was an in-swinger there, and it was... Now, it was Burke, but did it come off his hand? It was Burke with a header, but it might... They're going to have a look to see if there's a potential handball in here from Burke, who was leaning in. He was about 5 yards out.
Yeah, Ross Barkley was the player at the front post who was just pinning the Everton defender just to make sure that he couldn't get contact on it. It allowed Burke to run in.
The goal stands and Luton are ahead. Tell you what, when they do eventually move to the new stadium, that's one thing you won't miss, is that pillar. We're going to go racing. It's the Cleve hurdle. John Hunt.
They've just jumped away from the second last flight of hurdles here, Ian. Botox Haas and Dashel Drasher leads from Champ, Paisley Park next, and then the former Grand National winner Noble Yates on the outside, and Paisley Park's just a little bit tap for toe now, attempting to win this for a fourth time. It doesn't look likely, but you never write him off. A long run to the final flight of hurdles now. This is the final major race on Cheltenham Festival Trials Day. Dashel Drasher out in front, chased by Botox Haas and then Champ and then Paisley Park, who's now trying to rally with him his strong leader at the final flight of hurdles now. Dashel Drasher didn't jump too fluently, and there's Botox Haas and also Noble Yates, and Paisley Park is now finishing off strongly as well. Noble Yates, Dashel Drasher, Paisley Park and strong leader up towards the line. Noble Yates, Paisley Park is trying to get there. Noble Yates, Paisley Park has just failed, I'm afraid. That would have been dreamland stuff for Paisley Park, but he's been beaten today by the former Grand National winner. Noble Yates has won it in the hands of Harry Cobden, and Paisley Park, for the third time this season, has failed by inches to win a big race. Strong leader was third, but no doubt at all, Ian, that Noble Yates, the Grand National winner, is back in business here at Cheltenham.
Thank you, John. And there will, of course, be all the reflections from Cheltenham in Sports Report, a full hour with Mark Chapman between 5 and 6. And the Cheltenham Festival starts on the 12th of March. One of the best in the business. John Hunt will be, of course, involved for every day at Cheltenham. Here, just looking at that goal again, as Doughty dispossesses Patterson. Luton Town lead by a goal to nil. Not too sure how much of a touch Reece Burke actually got on it, you know.
Yeah, do you know what I actually think the Everton fans and Sean Dyche are complaining about is Barkley was the player at the front post who caused the problems, and it's Dom Calvert-Lewin who's protecting that space for Everton, and I think Barkley's had a little push on Dom Calvert-Lewin and just pushed him out of the way of making the contact with the ball, and that's allowed Burke to come in, and whatever part of his body it hit has gone into the back of the net.
As the ball goes forward to Krul, it might even yet go down as a Mikolenko own goal for Everton. You'll be able to see for yourself tonight, Match of the Day, highlights from BBC One at 10:30. In the Championship, there's been a goal at the Stadium of Light. Charlie Slater.
Sunderland 1, Stoke 0. Jack Clark down the left, drew a save out of the keeper that ballooned up into the sky, nodded down by Ekwah into the path of Burstow, who bundled it into the back of the net. They lead by a goal to nil with 1 minute remaining at the end of the first half.
Well, certainly Michael Beale needed that. There's been calls for him to be under pressure from the supporters. Been quite a bit of a toxic reaction to his appointment, and after 3 straight defeats, Michael Beale certainly needed a positive result at home to Stoke City in the Championship today. Everton's forward ball runs out of play for a goal kick. They trail by a goal to nil. Leeds United elsewhere in the Cup are home to Plymouth. They lead 1-0. Sheffield United 0, Brighton 2. The latest from Leicester, Pat Murphy.
Birmingham are thrashing Leicester 0-0. Best player on the park is the Leicester keeper. He's made 2 brilliant saves from Stansfield and Dembele just now, and Stansfield's also hit the outside of the post. Leicester 0, Birmingham 0.
And another goal at Bramall Lane, Lee Blakeman.
Sheffield United back in it, they trail 2-1, ball in from the right, keeper saved it, fell to Harmer, edge of the area, who slotted it in right on half-time. Sheffield United 1, Brighton 2.
Commentary of that is on Sports Extra. We have about 60 seconds remaining of this first half, and Morris has just rolled the ball away to prevent Tarkowski from taking a quick free kick. Virginia's going to come all the way up to take it instead now. The Everton number 2 goalkeeper looking for an equaliser here at Goodison. Winners of this competition 5 times. The last was 29 years ago. as Virginia waits. It's a left-footed kick, downfield, diagonal, ball, headed out, and then eventually clattered away by Morris. Crewe have equalised at Gresty Road. Crewe 1, Salford 1 is the latest score in League 2. Branthwaite with a little lazy flick of the right leg. O'Benny will let it run out of play for a throw. And Luton Town, who reached round 5 just a couple of years ago as a championship side, have the advantage as we approach half-time, is it, Christensen?
Yeah, and they're just managing the game now, trying to see it out to half-time to keep it at this score, not give Everton any invitation, because we all know that Goodison Park, as soon as there's Everton on the front foot, the fans really get behind the team.
4 minutes of stoppage time, which we're now into. Challenge comes in from Lokonga on Beto. Simon Hooper, the referee, gives a free kick. It's over 30 yards out from goal. It's fraction left of centre. The Everton supporters, who packed to the rafters when they last played in an FA Cup tie. It was in 1986. It was a quarter-final replay here at Goodison. Gary Lineker scored the only goal of the game after initially Everton had fought back from 2-0 down at Kenilworth Road. Gladys Street end there was great scenes of celebration indeed when Everton have played Luton Town in previous years of the FA Cup. In 85 and 86 they reached the final on both. Everton supporters will need no reminding that they finished on runners-up on both occasions. Notts County have equalised at home to Barrow 1-1. They've got a free kick here. They're looking for an equaliser. Harrison, he leaves it, and in the end it was Garner right-footed, over 30 yards out, and off-target goal kick.
Yeah, not bad from James Garner. Nice trajectory on the ball. She's gone just over the bar. Really nice whip on it. He's going for this near side corner. Yeah, it's gone slightly over, but good technique, good confidence to take it.
So Tim Krul is in no real hurry to take it. We're almost halfway through the minimum of 4 to be added on. As Krul, Goodison falls silent, comes off the side of the head of Tarkowski. Garner and Lokonga climb in the air together. Adebayo chests it off into the path of Morris, holds it up towards Doughty, back towards Morris. Morris challenged by Onana, tries to wriggle free, can't do so. Onana sticking to his guns. The back heel from Morris goes out of play for an Everton throw that they want to take quickly. Can they get back on level terms as Patterson, they'll advance a few yards down that touchline for Calvert-Lewin. They've had a Beto effort that was off target and a McNeil header. Apart from that, haven't really created a great deal of Everton. Goals have certainly been in short supply. They've only scored 4 in their last 7. Before today, they gone nearly 5 hours without conceding. But that changed with that goal for Luton Town after 39 minutes as once the ball given away. One of our featured games in League 2, another goal, Wimbledon with Aaron Paul.
Wimbledon 1, Mansfield 0. It's a goal on his return from the Asia Cup for the Lebanese international striker Omar Bagil. Edge of the area, well worked with Josh Davidson, and he thundered it into the back of the net. Wimbledon 1, 10-man Mansfield 0.
Crewe 2, Salford 1 is the latest score in League 2. We are into the last 60 seconds of added on time.
Yeah, and Luton just doing exactly what I thought, just taking the time with this throw-in, trying to get Barkley on the ball to dictate.
Here is Barkley chipping it out towards O'Benny. O'Benny actually left it for Townsend, and taking advantage of the hesitation was Mikolenko, the left back. McNeil returns the ball to the Ukrainian international, has his first effort block, keeps it in play on that far side, attacking the park end of the ground here at Goodison. Mikolenko goes to ground far too easily under the challenge from O'Benny. It won't roll out of play, so the Irish international has got to clear it long for Luton Town, up towards Adebayo, who flicks it on, has a little tug at Branthwaite, and then Tarkowski runs in behind to cover. And that should be it in terms of the action for the first half, where Luton have their noses in front here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Patterson will go long towards Calvert-Lewin. Beto is also there, headed out by Burke, and there is Simon Hooper, half-time whistle, and Sean Dyche. That was a brisk turn and dash down the tunnel for Sean Dyche, but Luton Town are ahead, and here are the thoughts of Izzy Christensen.
Yeah, both teams really aggressive, started on the front foot, really good watch, and obviously an interesting goal scored by Luton from that set piece, which I don't think Everton will be particularly happy about, but I think on reflection, Luton have played the better football, and Everton have definitely started to grow into the game, but wonder if there'll be a couple of changes in the second half from Sean Dyche.
We shall see. Certainly it was credited to Reece Burke, but the fact that the cameras are trained on Mykolenko tells me that will change. It will go down as an own goal, but it is the goal that gives Luton the lead at the break. Everton 0, Luton Town 1.
Story of the FA Cup fourth round came earlier today. Ipswich of the Championship 1, Maidstone United of the National League South 2. Reaction to come throughout the afternoon here on 5 Live and during Sports Report from 5 o'clock. Let's go around the other 3 o'clock kickoffs in the Cup, starting with Leicester against Birmingham. Pat Murphy.
Leicester 0, Birmingham 0. The fact that the goalkeeper of Leicester City, the Pole Stolicic, is the best player on the park tells you all you need to know. 5 excellent first half saves. Mashiri also went close. Leicester haven't got close at all, really. Leicester 0, Birmingham 0.
Swindon have just doubled their lead on the stroke of half-time in League 2. Dawson Devoyers got it. They lead Bradford by 2-0. And Fleetwood, despite being 2-0 up at Wickham, are now down to 10. Promise Omacheri, who got their first goal, has received his second yellow card for Charlie Adams' side. So they lead at Wickham, and they're yet to win under Charlie Adam, but they are down to 10. Back to the Cup, Maz at Elland Road.
Leeds 1, Plymouth 0, but we could have had plenty more goals. Plymouth in the opening minutes somehow not scoring when Miller fired a great ball from the left for Whittaker to head in, but he somehow couldn't get it on target. But that was like poking the bear as far as Leeds were concerned. They then woke up, both Anthony and Nonte, with chances that bounced off the Plymouth woodwork, and then Anthony with a brilliant solo goal, picking up the ball on the left, going past 1-2 and then 3 Plymouth players as he ran forward before firing into the back of the net. His mother Donna passed away recently, so it was an emotional celebration for him as he then took off his jersey to reveal a t-shirt underneath the message for her, and then he was booked by the referee Lewis Smith for that celebration. So Anthony with a goal and a yellow card, with the Leeds 1-0 up at half-time.
Still going at Bramall Lane, Lee Blakeman.
We've had 6 of 8 added minutes at the end of the first half. Brighton still leading Sheffield United 2-1. Harmer's goal getting the home team back into it. That survived a long VAR check for a potential offside in the build-up. They had a long look. It didn't get given. Well, the goal stood rather, so it's still Sheffield United 1, Brighton 2.
OK, thank you very much. 2 games in the Championship this afternoon. Let's go to the Stadium of Light. This could be huge for Mick Beale. Charlie Slater.
Indeed it could. Sunderland 1, Stoke 0. Good game, loads of chances for both sides. Finally one taken late in the first half. Chelsea loanee Mason Burstow bundling the ball home with a close range header. His first for the club. Sunderland 1, Stoke 0.
All square at the Den at the break. Paul Scott.
Millwall 1, Preston 1. Preston finishing the first half by far the stronger of the two sides. Millwall took the lead in the 5th minute. Zian Fleming's close range header. Preston equalised when Japhet Tanganga gave the ball away on his full debut. Brad Potts with the finish. Half time, Millwall 1, Preston 1.
They're the only 2 games in the Championship. Let's go into League 1. Leaders Portsmouth are at Port Vale this afternoon. Katie Smith.
Port Vale 0, Portsmouth 0. Portsmouth, though, patiently have wrestled control in this half. Their best chance, though, not till added time. Top scorer Cove Bishop with a header at the back post, pushed away, though, by keeper Ripley with his fingertips. Portsmouth off top spot in the table as things stand, 0-0.
Peterborough are in second. They're away this afternoon as well. They're at Lincoln. Chris Coles.
It's 0-0 and it's all very subdued, which is a surprise given Peterborough's recent showings, although they did hit the crossbar in first half stoppage time. Ricky J. Jones turning a well-directed cross onto the top of the bar. Weak long-range efforts from both sides. Prior to that, it can get a whole lot better. Lincoln 0, Peterborough 0.
First half still going at Bramall Lane. And Lee.
We've had 8 added minutes and Sheffield United are level. It's 2-2. Ball in from the right, met by Willis Euler. Brilliant flicked header. I'm just looking at the screens. This is going to be checked for an offside. It's going to get a big check. It stands at the moment, but I'm not sure it's going to stand for much longer, although he's been shoved into an offside position.
No. Look at the defender at the top of the screen trying to block the cross. I think he may have played him on.
Oh, we'll wait and see. It's gone to VAR. It's just come up on the big screen. At the moment, Willis Euler has made it 2-2. Come back to me, Mark. I'll let you know what happens.
Probably a good idea that me and Lee aren't in the VAR room. Right, let's go to Adam Cotty. You're watching a comfortable first half for Bolton at Carlisle.
Yeah, absolutely comfortable. Heading for the top of the league at the moment. Bolton Wanderers, 2 stylish goals. The first from Zach Ashworth, a lovely cushioned lob volley over the goalkeeper from Joe Sheehan's pass. He's on loan from West Bromwich Albion. Paris Magoma's on loan from Brentford, and he got their second with a low right foot shot after being set up by Ashworth in the penalty area. Carlisle at the moment heading bottom, and Bolton heading for the summit. Carlisle 0, Bolton 2.
Out of the top 4, Bolton are the only ones who have scored this afternoon. Nikesh Regani.
Yeah, Derby 0, Cheltenham 0 here. Darrell Clark will be very pleased with how his side has done so far. Derby have had more of the ball, but Cheltenham have looked a real threat on the counter. Liam Sercombe had an early shot on target, which forced a save. They've had several other chances as well. Derby very quiet when they get into the final third. A few boos here from the home fans at half-time. Derby's promotion push so far taking another hit. It's Derby 0, Cheltenham 0.
Elsewhere in League One, real surprise at Oakwell this afternoon. Barnsley undefeated in their last 11 in the league, are behind at home to Exeter. Barnsley 0, Exeter 2, Blackpool 0, Charlton 2. Blackpool 0, Charlton 0, Bristol Rovers 2, Oxford 0, Chris Martin with the first. That's 11 for the season for him. Luke Thomas with the second. Goalless between Cambridge and Burton, and Northampton and Shrewsbury. It's Reading 1, Leyton Orient 1. Wigan leads Stevenage by 2-1. Josh McGuinness with his 7th of the season, and Thelo Asgard with the goals for Wigan. Jamie Reid has now got 20 for the season for Stevenage, and Charlie Adams Fleetwood, who have lost all 4 games under him, lead at Wycombe at the break by 2-0, but they are down to 10 for the second half. I don't know what all the fuss was about, Lee. He was clearly on.
It is 2-2. It's being given. The half-time whistle is about to go. Sheffield United 2, Brighton 2. Really good first half. Great strike from Buonanotte gave Brighton the lead. 25 yards out into the top corner. Joao Pedro won and scored a penalty to make it 2. Brighton had chances before Harmer brought Sheffield United back into it on 44, and then deep into first half stoppage time, Willa Schuler with the header. In it went, survived VAR. It's Sheffield United 2, Brighton 2, and as far as VAR is concerned, it's Mark Chapman 1, Lee Blakeman 0.
I think we both made a mess of it, really. Right, Sports Extra, if you want to listen to the second half of that game. Into League 2, we're with the leaders Stockport at Doncaster, and they have had a very good first 45 minutes. Jonathan Ledyard.
They have. They're cruising this. 3 headers, 3 goals for Stockport. Nick Powell's hit the bar. They've had 3 goal-bound shots blocked by the last line of Doncaster's defence, which has been a miracle because it's non-existent. Paddy Madden after 5 minutes. Owen Bailey own goal after 11. Conor Lehan Evans nodded in unmarked after 33. Rovers way too lightweight in all departments. Not one shot on target, and they'll do well not to concede more. Hence, loud boos at half-time. Doncaster 0, Stockport 3.
Mansfield have just lost once away from home in the league this season. In fact, they've taken 27 points out of a possible 42 away from home. They're going to have to go some this afternoon to get anything out of AFC Wimbledon. Aaron Paul.
Not going to plan, Mark. Wimbledon 1, Mansfield 0. A thunderous strike from the Lebanese international. Omar Bagil has Wimbledon ahead. It's been a disappointing first 45 from Mansfield. Jordan Bowery sent off early on after hauling down Josh Davidson whilst he was through on goal, whilst Aidan Flint, the captain, has hobbled off injured. Wimbledon have had chances, but it's Bugil's strike that separates the sides at the break. Wimbledon 1, Mansfield 0.
Elsewhere, Crewe have come from behind to lead Salford by 2-1 at the break. Matt Smith, 17th of the season, put the visitors ahead, but Aaron Rowe and then Elliot Nevitt with his 12th of the season means Lee Bell's side lead at the break. Forest Green Rovers 0, Accrington Stanley 1, Jack Nolan with his 9th of the season in that game. Grimsby 1, Tranmere 1, MK Dons 0, Gillingham 0. Colchester, who haven't won in their last 5, managed by Danny Cowley, now lead at the break at Morecambe by 1-0. It's Notts County 1, Barrow 1, Swindon lead Bradford by 2-0. The first of those goals coming from Charlie Austin from the penalty spot, 10 for the season for him, and it's Walsall 1, Sutton 1. In the National League this afternoon, AFC Fylde 1, Bromley 0, Aldershot 2, Rochdale 1, Altrincham 2, Eastleigh 0. Boreham Wood are down to 10 and they trail Dorking at home by 2-0. Leaders Chesterfield are a goal up at home to Southend. Goalless between Dagenham and Redbridge and Kidderminster. Gateshead 0, Barnet 1, Hartlepool 0, York 0, Maidenhead 1, Solihull Moors 1. Goalless as well between Oldham and Woking. Oxford City are a goal up on Ebbsfleet, and Wealdstone lead Halifax by 1-0. In the Women's Championship, they're just approaching full time and it's Blackburn 0, Sunderland 2. Let's go into the Scottish Premiership. Earlier, St Mirren 0, Rangers 1. Celtic lead by the same scoreline at the break. Connie.
They do. An early goal from Alistair Johnson. Looked as though this could be the start of a bumper day of goals for the home side, but 2 missed penalties by Lewis Palmer, back to back, by the way, within the space of about a couple of minutes, meant that, plus County hitting the woodwork, means at half-time this game is anything but done, Mark. At half-time it is Celtic 1, Ross County 0.
Hearts 0, Aberdeen 0, Kilmarnock 1, Hibs 0, Livingston 0, Dundee 1, and St Johnstone 1, Motherwell 1 elsewhere. In the Championship in Scotland, Airdrieonians 1, Partick Thistle 1, leaders Dundee United 0, Dunfermline 0, Goalless between Morton and Arbroath, and Arbroath are down to 10. Queen's Park 0, Ayr 1. Second place, Wraith not having a good afternoon against Big Dunks Inverness. They trail by 3 goals to 1. In League 1, Alloa 0, Falkirk 1, Annan 1, Edinburgh City 0. Cove Rangers 0, Queen of the South 1, Hamilton 1, Montrose 0, Stirling 1, Kelty Hearts 0. In League 2, a result, Elgin 0, Dumbarton 1. Half times the other games, Forfar 0, Bonnyrigg Rose 0. The game between the top 2 is level, Peterhead 1, Stenhouse Muir 1, Spartans 1, Clyde 1, Stranraer 0, East 5-1. In the Premiership Rugby Union this afternoon, Northampton 38, Newcastle 13 as a result. And at half time at Bristol, Molly Stevens.
Well, despite some handling errors themselves, Bath look rattled. They had 2 men sent to the bin in the first half, and despite some handling errors from Bristol, when they get the opportunity, they charge into Bath's 22 and to the try line. Some outstanding running rugby from the home side, who've scored 5 tries to Bath's 2 to give this sellout Ashton Gate crowd so much to shout about. What a West Country derby this is. Bristol 33, Bath 15.
At 5:30, it's Saracens against Exeter in the United Rugby Championship. It finished Bulls 30, Lions 28. At the Australian Open tennis earlier, Arina Sabalenka won her second consecutive women's singles title. And in the cricket, England closed their second innings today 315 for 6. Ollie Pope 148 not out. You are up to date with all the day's sport. 2 minutes past 4. Here's Stuart Clarkson.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The UK says it's suspending its funding for the UN Relief Agency for Palestinian refugees following claims by Israel that some UNRWA staff were involved in the attack by Hamas on the 7th of October. The US, Italy, Canada and Australia have also paused their funding. UNRWA says those sacked those accused and launched an investigation. Israel says the UN agency will not be allowed to operate in Gaza after the war. A fire that broke out on board a fuel tanker that was struck by a missile in the Gulf of Aden has been fully extinguished. The Marlin Luanda is the latest in a number of commercial ships attacked by Houthi fighters in the region. The vessel's operator says it's now sailing towards a safe harbour and nobody has been injured. John Lewis has confirmed it's planning further cuts to its workforce over the next 5 years. The report's up to 11,000 jobs could be axed at its department stores and at Waitrose supermarkets. And in the last half hour, a Buckingham Palace official has said he doesn't expect the King or the Princess of Wales to leave hospital this weekend. The King had a routine treatment for his enlarged prostate yesterday, while the Princess is recovering from abdominal surgery.
This is 5 Live Sport with Mark Chapman
on 5 Live. Listen on BBC Sounds.
So on Sports Extra at the moment, Sheffield United against Brighton, which is level at 2-2 in the FA Cup. And then at 5 o'clock, we'll have some live netball for you. Nations Cup. England taking on New Zealand. Winner takes all in this one. Lindsay Chapman for the final.
That's absolutely right. It's crunch time for England today. They need to win against New Zealand in Leeds to make it to tomorrow's final, which is expected to be against the world number ones, against Australia. Although Uganda are putting up a really good fight at the moment, just 4 behind as they hit half-time. For the England Roses, Eleanor Cardwell and Helen Housby are combining really well in the shooting circle. They did well against Australia and against Uganda. Imogen Allison is a name to look out for in the tournament. She plays in the middle for England. But Grayson Weke, that's a name from the New Zealand side. She shot at 98% against Australia. So England are going to have their work cut out and they really need to win this big game to head to tomorrow's final.
You'd expect Australia to pull clear of Uganda, wouldn't you?
I would. And I think in this third quarter that they will push on. Yeah, definitely. But I wasn't expecting it to be that close just for the difference at half-time. Unbelievable.
Thank you very much, Lindsay. So that's on Sports Extra at the conclusion of Sheffield United against Brighton. It has finished in the Women's Championship. Blackburn 0, Sunderland 2. Right. Second half then of Everton against Luton. Let's return to Goodison and that Burke goal being given now as a Mikolenko own goal. Here's Ian Dennis.
As we suspected. Thank you, Mark. Everton are out. No changes have been made from Sean Dyche, so as Luton Town are yet to emerge, I can tell you that Virginia is in goal for Everton. Patterson, Tarkowski, Branthwaite and Mikolenko, with Onana, Garner, Harrison and McNeil, Calvert-Lewin and Beto. Royal blue shirts, white shorts and white socks. And as Luton now come out, but before we give you their team, we're going to find out about who has scored at Leicester City in the FA Cup. Pat Murphy.
Jamie Vardy, trademark header, brilliant cross from Old Brighton, the old firm strike. Leicester 1, Birmingham 0.
So elsewhere in the three other ties in the FA Cup fourth round, Leeds United lead Plymouth 1-0. Leicester, as we just heard from Pat, are 1-0 up. Sheffield United 2, Brighton and Hove Albion 2. So Chris Wilder's side getting it back to level terms just before half-time. Earlier, Maidstone United beating Ipswich by 2-1. They are the lowest ranked side since Blythe Spartans in 1978 to go to the fifth round of the FA Cup. The draw tomorrow. Boreham Wood were the last non-league team just a couple of years ago. Luton Town, like Everton, haven't made any changes at half-time. So Simon Hooper gets this game back underway. I can give you the Luton Town team, which is Krul in goal. A back three of Bell, Burke and Mengi, with the wing-backs in Doughty and Obeni, with Lokonga, Barkley, Townsend, Adebayo and Carlton Morris. And another goal. It's at Sunderland this time in the Championship. Charlie Slater.
After just 3 minutes of play in the second half, it's Sunderland 2, Stoke 0. Abdullah Bar, wonderful build-up play. Clark involved again down the left-hand side. He put it on a plate. Stoke's defending abysmal, but boy oh boy, did Beale need that. It's 2-0.
He certainly did. He was trying to play it all down yesterday. Was Michael Beale in his press conference. Crisis? What crisis? After 3 straight defeats, Sunderland, you would think, are back on track at the Stadium of Light. Everton need to get back on track. They're trailing to that Mikalenko own goal 6 minutes before half-time. Is he, Christiansen?
Yeah, and Everton don't seem like they've changed anything in terms of the system. Since the first half, they're playing with Beto and Dom Calvert-Lewin, who've caused a lot of havoc up front for Everton, but they haven't really found clean passes through to them, so that's definitely something they'll try and improve on in this half.
Well, Luton, who've already beaten Everton, as we mentioned in the first half, as a top-flight side, Luton have only ever beaten a top-flight side in the same campaign only once before in their entire history, and that was Stoke City. They won a third-round replay by 3-2 in 1985. And then a little later on in the old Division 1, they won by 4-0 with Mick Harford on the score sheet with a couple of goals in that 4-0 win. But Luton Town looking for their first ever win against Everton in a domestic cup tie, have their noses in front here at Goodison Park. You'd expect some sort of response from Everton as the ball goes long by Krul. Doughty makes the run in off that left touch line. Adebayo is also there, and Tarkowski putting pressure on Adebayo, helped out by Doughty, and he wins a corner. They're showing a lot of fight, Luton Town.
They really are. I tell you what, for all modern day football, building out from the back, playing through midfield and everything, Tim Krul just fires it straight up to Doughty, who just made a fantastic run off that left side, resulting in a corner for Luton, and they've started on the front foot like they did with the first half.
Well, I know in FA Cup ties, the away side is entitled to something like 25% of the ticket allocation of the home side's capacity for their own stadium. Luton certainly haven't taken anywhere near their full allocation today, but those that have travelled are very happy as the corner comes in, cleared, only to the edge of the area. Right corner of the box is Andros Townsend, plays it back to Obeni. The two continue to exchange passes, and then Onana just catching Andros Townsend a fraction late, but Bell brings it out of defence, looks for Morris. Morris tries to turn. Harrison is there and can clear. Another goal at Doncaster Rovers in League 2. Jonathan Ledyard.
And you can guess what's happened. It's Doncaster 0, Stockport 4. Another header, another goal for Paddy Madden. This after Grant McCann made 4 changes for Doncaster at half-time. No change. They're losing even worse.
Well, I said at the top of in the first half, at the top of League 1, you've got 4 points separating the top 5. But Barnsley are losing at home to Exeter, and Derby County have now fallen behind at home to Cheltenham. Derby County 0, Cheltenham 1. As Luton Town have made an encouraging opening start to this second period, 3.5 minutes in.
Yeah, Branthwaite with a really late challenge on Morris there as he dropped deep to get on the ball, and no, sorry, it's Tarkowski who was late. And I wondered why the referee didn't play advantage.
So Everton, who are attacking the Gladys Street end in this second half, they're playing from right to left as Mikolenko has to deal with the presence of Obeni. Gives a little shove in the back. McNeil helps him out. Onana tidies it up and back towards Branthwaite. Back towards Onana. Now with Mikolenko. Triangular passing patterns from the Everton players in the all royal blue shirts as the ball goes up then. And Obeni heads it away. Townsend looked for the free kick. Not going to be given. There was no real push from Mikolenko. As now Calvert-Lewin holds onto it. Feeds it forward. McNeil with the cross. Hasn't been dealt with. Comes to the edge of the area. Calvert-Lewin was there, and then Doughty with a volleyed clearance, but the referee spotted a push and an infringement, and there will be a free kick to Luton Town on the edge of their own penalty area.
Yeah, good little ball in from Dwight McNeil. How often do we say that? He's got one of the best deliveries I've seen in the Premier League in terms of putting the ball exactly where he wants it. He puts the ball across, it bounces in front of the Luton centre-backs, and it's on that second phase. Calvert-Lewin just catches Lokonga late.
That's the voice of Izzy Christiansen, the former England international, who's with us here on BBC Radio 5 Live in the World Service. We're also available on BBC Sounds, the app. If you haven't downloaded it, you can listen to all sorts through that, as we'll get news of that Cheltenham goal from Nikesh Ragani at Derby.
Yep, Derby 0, Cheltenham 1, and Liam Sercombe with a left-footed finish deflected off one of the Derby defenders. It trickled away into the bottom corner. A deserved lead for Cheltenham here. It's Derby 0, Cheltenham 1.
Well, I've got to say Luton Town have made a really positive start to this second half. 6 minutes in, they've got another corner kick over on that far side in front of the travelling support. Cries have come on Luton as Doughty's going to place it down on that far side. They're playing from left to right as we look. Orange shirts, navy shorts. Doughty's looks like he's telling people to go out and then make a late run, judging by the hand signals. There are a clutch of players in and around the penalty area. One of them is Burke. It's an out-swinging corner, and the header was a good one from Morris, and it produced a flying save by Virginia. Out it goes to Doughty, in it comes again, headed out, but he was at full stretch. It was a one-handed save to his right to prevent Everton going 2 down.
Yeah, it's a wonderful save. I think Dwight McNeil was on the line as well, but Virginia had to be safe. And another brilliantly worked set piece from Luton. And just going back to what you said earlier, Dano, that Luton are just extremely well coached. You can really see patterns starting to emerge on the pitch. The way they're playing, they've really turned the corner.
Well, they have got more than a fighting chance of staying in the Premier League, depending on, of course, the sanctions that could yet still hit Everton even further and Nottingham Forest. But they have shown a lot of fight, finding their feet certainly in the top flight in recent weeks. 7 points out of a possible 12 in the Premier League they've picked up for Rob Edwards and his players. And I hope that continues against Brighton and Hove Albion when they visit Kenilworth Road on Tuesday. But due a good cup run in the FA Cup as well. As here is Onana. Back to Garner. Patterson holds off the challenge of Doughty. Everton have struggled to create clear openings against Luton Town today here. Beto, poor first touch, allowed Townsend just to dispossess him with ease. Townsend turns, holds it up, and then he was caught by Tarkowski, who continues to have a little niggle at him. Free kick to Luton.
Yeah, it's a bit naughty there from Tarkowski, just leaving one on Andros Townsend. Townsend used all of his experience there just to protect the ball and relieve his team from a bit of pressure. He's really under pressure, isn't he, from Tarkowski? And there's a little bit of a stamp there from Mr. Tarkowski.
Yes, there was. Just caught him on the calf. VAR didn't pick that one up. Since they were runners-up in 1959, they've only reached the semi-final on 3 occasions. Luton, 94, 88, 85 before that. The priority, of course, though, is Premier League survival. As McNeil sends over a hanging ball. Calvert-Lewin never going to get there. Harrison might. Bella gets there first to lift it away. Calvert-Lewin, who's going through a bit of a goal drought at the moment. 14 games without a goal. No foul on Patterson. Luton bring it clear. Doughty on the far side. Maybe it's one of those occasions, Izzy, where the crowd there needs to be a catalyst to try and spark Everton into life.
Yeah, the game certainly opened up, Dano, and you can just see the ball in transition. Both teams look vulnerable. It could swing either way, but Luton have got something to hold on to at the moment, and Everton are pushing. Curtis
Fleming was named as the caretaker manager of Charlton during the week. They're behind at Blackpool in League One. Blackpool 1, Charlton Athletic 0 is the latest score. We'll get an update from Leicester now. Pat Murphy.
It's still 1-0 to Leicester, but the chances keep coming for Birmingham at the other end. Anderson just now put through by Stanshill. Lovely piece of work over the bar. Should have done better. 1-0 Leicester.
With the shot. Krul couldn't keep it out, and Everton are level. It just spilled away out of the grasp of the Luton Town goalkeeper. He's annoyed at himself, but Harrison hit it true and hard, and it was too hot to handle for Krul, and Everton are level at 1-1.
That's an awful mistake from Krul. It's a comfortable save, and the ball's just gone through his hands into the back of the net. He's trickled over the line, but a wonderful little counter-attack. I said both teams are weak on transition, and Everton there punishing Luton for being slow. There was a slip, I think it was from Mengi, let Harrison cut inside, and then the ball into the back of the net through Krul's hands. And like you said, Everton needed a lifeline, and that was that.
Certainly was. Everton definitely did need that. I think the unfortunate player was Bell. As he tried to turn, he just slipped. But Tim Krul really will be disappointed, but it was a left-footed effort from Harrison. I mean, his body was behind it as well for Tim Krul. Just went underneath his trailing right arm. So an element of fortune, but 1-1. Here is O'Benny back in towards the penalty area. But as you say, Everton did need that.
Yeah, they needed that, and like I said, that both teams look really weak on the transition as the ball turns over.
So Everton, 10 minutes into the second half, are level, and Jack Harrison with his third goal since arriving on a season-long loan from Leeds United. Elsewhere, Grimsby 1, Tranmere 2, Hearts 1, Aberdeen 0, Northampton 0, Shrewsbury 1 is the latest score in League One. You're up to date with the goals as they go in on BBC Radio 5 Live. Don't forget, the tennis will be live on 5 Live in the morning from 8:30. Russell Fuller and the team for that men's singles final. Yannick Sinner against Daniel Medvedev in the Australian Open. And then tomorrow's commentaries in the FA Cup fourth round. John Murray and Chris Waddle at the Hawthorns. I'm sure will be a feisty occasion for West Bromwich Albion against Wolves, followed by Liverpool against Norwich, 2:30. And then Newport County Manchester United is on BBC One from 4 o'clock. Kick-off is at 4:30, and that fifth round draw will also take place tomorrow, so you'll hear that on BBC Radio 5 Live. The football will commence as soon as that tennis final finishes down under. 1-1, and all to play for now.
Absolutely. I'm just looking at the Luton players and just looking in and see if they've still got that tempo and that energy that they had when they were 1-0 up, because the pendulum swung massively now into Everton's favour. You can see and feel the noise inside the stadium swung in favour of Everton, and now you can only kind of see Everton going on. It's a big challenge for Luton to get back in this game.
Well, certainly the way that he slammed his hands together, Tim Krul will need no reminding about his error that has resulted in failing to keep out Harrison's effort. And for an Everton team looking to try and extend, get a bit of a mini revival going, unbeaten in 3 before today. 1-1 here, as there is a penalty at Bramall Lane. Lee Blakeman.
Another penalty for Brighton. We're level at 2-2, given for a handball against Jayden Bogle. He jumped, his arm was in the air, referee spotted it, referee has given it, and now João Pedro with a chance to score his second penalty of this game in front of the away end. It's a short, very slow run up, but he sends the keeper the wrong way again, and Brighton are back in front 7 minutes into the second half. Sheffield United 2, Brighton 3.
So the result earlier was Ipswich Town 1, Maidstone United 2. What a upset that was. It was a great commentary from Alistair Bruce Ball and Terry Butcher. Good to hear Butch back on the airwaves as Luton Town now come forward. Adebayo has support from Andros Townsend. He goes it alone, and the goalkeeper made the save to turn it behind for a corner kick. But what a chance for Luton Town, Izzy Christiansen.
Oh, it's a big save from Virginia, because Branthwaite slipped, and Townsend is screaming for the ball to be squared for a tap, and he's gone for the shot. Has Adebayo, he's just gone across the keeper, tried to curl it into the far corner, and he's just got a little touch on it. Virginia, brilliant save to tip it round the post.
Kilmarnock 2, Hibs 0 is the latest score in the Scottish Premiership. Derby have equalised at home to Cheltenham 1-1. Crewe 2, Salford 2 is a latest score. We'll be going back to Doncaster in a moment, where Stockport, I think, have got another goal, but we'll get news of that from Jonathan Ledyard. As in comes the corner, it's a deep one towards the far post, headed out by Onana. O'Benny plays it back, and this now is Bell. Everton's royal blue shirts push on out, and we will go back to Jonathan at Doncaster.
Another header, another Stockport goal. This time Tanto Olofe, his 16th of the season, diving in at the near post. Doncaster's defensive disappearing act continues. Doncaster 0, Stockport 5. We've still got half an hour to go.
And Nikesh has news of that goal at Derby County.
Yep, Derby 1, Cheltenham 1. Derby's equaliser coming from a free kick, edge of the D. Max Bird powered it into the top corner with his left foot through the wall, slightly against the run of play, but it's Derby 1, Cheltenham 1.
Oxford United have got a goal back at Bristol Rovers. Bristol Rovers 2, Oxford United 1. Tale of two goalkeepers the second half. You think Virginia has made 2 saves now from Morris with his header and Adebayo, either side of the cruel error.
You can read my mind, Dano, because that's exactly what I was just thinking. The mistake from Krul, I will label it as a mistake, and then that wonderful save from Virginia to deny Adebayo down the other end.
Have you put your lottery numbers on for later on? Because if you have, I'll read your mind.
It'll always start with number 8.
All right, okay. Here is Calvert-Lewin. I didn't think you were going to answer me then for a minute.
I didn't hear what you said.
Here is Onana. Floats it out towards the right-hand side. Harrison, a little bit of momentum for Everton. Harrison just couldn't take it into his grasp on the right. Out it goes for a throw. Patterson wants to take it quickly. We've got half an hour to play at Goodison Park. FA Cup 4th round weekend, live on BBC Radio 5 Live. World Service are also with us. BBC Sounds too. No other goals elsewhere. Here is Tarkowski coming forward. On the run, right-footed ball, nobody had made the run, bounces straight through towards Tim Krul. Update in the Rugby Union then, Molly Stevens.
Bristol 47, Bath 27. There must have been some big half-time talks. In 10 minutes we've had 4 tries. It's relentless. Harding and Bradbury for Bristol, de Glanville and Coetzee, with Bath's 11 tries so far in this game, and I think more to come. Bristol 47, Bath 27.
Looking for a ball round the back. It was for the pass from Harrison to Beto. Beto's then given away a foul. Paul Trott is the assistant with Rob Edwards. He was up here just in the first half, just sat to our right-hand side. He's now in deep discussion on the touchline with Rob Edwards, and Luton look like they're going to be making a change. I guess they will have one eye on the visit of Brighton on Tuesday in the Premier League. That has got to be their number one target, Premier League survival. But equally, Rob Edwards, who the furthest he ever went as a player was the 5th round when he was with Wolves, although he didn't actually play in that tie where they lost to Cardiff City in 2008. But a chance to extend their run in this competition that once again produced all of its glory with a great story with Maidstone United of National League South knocking out Ipswich Town. That is if you're not an Ipswich fan. Here is Burke coming forward. Almost got away to O'Benny. Townsend will find O'Benny now, edge of the area, back towards Townsend. Townsend into the penalty area, pulls it back, squares it, might run through to Morris, cleared off the line by Patterson. Well, Everton's goal in this second half is leading a rather charmed life, and Patterson with a goal line clearance keeps it at 1-1.
Oh, I tell you what, if there's ever an epitome of Everton's defensive mentality, that is exactly it. Nathan Patterson on the line, a beautiful bit of play from Luton down the right-hand side with Townsend cutting in. He sells Tarkowski, cuts it back to the keeper, and Morris thinks he scored. Open goal, but there's Patterson to clear it off the line. It's a corner to Luton.
Dowdy to take the corner kick, far side to left. It's an out swinger. Morris climbs, drops towards O'Benny, heads it back in. Little off target, and Nana will let this run out of play for a goal kick to Everton. 63 minutes played on 5 Live. Latest scores in the Cup League still lead Plymouth by a goal to 0. Leicester have a slender advantage at home to Birmingham 1-0. And Sheffield United 2, Brighton and Hove Albion 3. Commentary of that is on Sports Extra. Our next commentary, after a full hour of Sports Report and 6:06, is Fulham Newcastle at 7 with Conor McNamara and Don Hutchison, live from Craven Cottage as the ball goes long. Flicked on by Calvert-Lewin, headed away by O'Benny. It's going to be a double change that is going to be made by Luton Town. Chong and Woodrow are the players who are going to be coming on as Adebayo tries to roll away from Branthwaite, and he was fouled, and it will be a free kick to Luton Town, just not that far away from the right corner of the penalty area.
Yeah, brilliant little play again from Luton, just finding their groove again and the momentum. A free kick in a really attractive looking position. Ross Barkley's looming over the ball. It's not within shooting distance, certainly not for a right footer, but it's looking, I imagine he's going to look to whip this in with pace into that sort of area in between the back line and the goalkeeper.
I think it's going to be a triple change because Mpanzu is another player who's going to be coming on. So Rob Edwards waits to make that triple substitution. Ross Barkley, the former Everton player, places the ball down, so just 2 or 3 yards away from the penalty box. As Luton Town attacking the park end of the ground, play from left to right as we look. 1-1-5 live. Barkley to take it, right-footed, curls all the way out, very, very deep. Out of play it will go for a goal kick. And now let's see where these changes. And this might tell us a lot with regards to the visit of Brighton at the weekend. So first of all, Adebayo is going to be coming off. That'll be Woodrow coming on for him. Whilst the changes happen, actually, let's get news of another goal. It's at Wimbledon, Aaron Paul.
Equaliser for Mansfield. This time it's Will Swan jinking into the area and just drilling his shot in at Alex Bass's near post, to the delight of the 1,000 Mansfield fans to my left. Wimbledon 1, 10-man Mansfield 1.
Touch of class from the Everton supporters as Andros Townsend gets a lovely ovation from the home support. The former Everton player only made 27 appearances, hampered of course badly through injury, but he, now at his 14th different club, was warmly recognised by the Everton supporters inside Goodison. So Woodrow has come on for Adebayo. Townsend comes off as well, and the other player coming off was Bell. So Mpanzu and also Chong coming on. So they're going to revert to a flat back four, I would think. We'll wait and see. As ball is held up, McNeil to the edge of the area. Beto runs straight into Barkley, brings it away up towards Morris. Morris lays it off. Now Woodrow at the minute has gone to the right hand side. Chong's in the midfield. I think they're still sticking with the three, looking at it.
Yeah, they are for now. You can see Mpanzu's gone in alongside Ross Barkley where Lukongu was. Chong's gone higher up. Morris is pressing. It looks like they're going to press with 2 strikers though.
Another goal at the Stadium of Light. Charlie Slater.
70 minutes on the clock. Sunderland 3, Stoke 0. Brilliant build-up between Ekwa and Barr. Barr gives it back to Ekwa. Ekwa makes it 3, and surely Sunderland are home and hosed. 3-0.
And Mpanzu plays it towards Barkley. Chips it in. Woodrow strikes him on the thigh. Able to turn. Right-hand side of the area. Sends over the cross. It's a deep one. Goes a push, a blatant push. Doughty on Harrison, and that was spotted by referee Simon Hooper. As Sean Dyche is having to be reined in by the 4th official as he was off down the touchline. 1-1, and we've got 22 minutes remaining, I think, here at Goodison Park. Another goal at Doncaster. Jonathan Ledyard.
Here comes the Doncaster comeback. It's a goal for Harrison Biggins, one of the 4 substitutes sent on by Grant McCann. So it's Doncaster 1, Stockport 5.
Thank you, Jonathan. 1-1 here, midway through the second half, as Everton with Mikolenko, long throw towards Beto. Tight behind him was Ted and Mengi. Dundee have got a second goal at Livingston in the Scottish Premiership. Livingston 0, Dundee 2 is the latest score, and you're up to date with the goals elsewhere. As the ball goes high, Burke beats Beto in the air. Woodrow turns. He's got Onana tracking him though. And the referee eventually changed his mind. I thought he was going to go in favour of Luton, but then he changed his mind and he got the applause from Sean Dyche. Burton incidentally are down to 10 men. Cambridge United 0, Burton 0 is the latest score in League One. We've got just over 20 minutes remaining. You wouldn't think, given their predicament in the Premier League, that these sides would fancy another replay.
Yeah, and I was just thinking about the way the game's gone. It's been so transitional. Both teams have kind of gone for it, leaving themselves exposed at the back. You just wonder if this was in the Premier League, it'd be much tighter.
Everton have been awarded a corner kick. It was a slice clearance that has run wide from Amari Bell, and it's gone behind for a corner kick, which Ghana's going to take it. We'll be going after this corner straight to Leicester, where there's been another goal in the FA Cup. Ghana waits to take it, not happy with the adjustment in that quadrant in front of the Gladys Street end. 1-1 near side the left. Luton Town have got every orange shirt back. It's Ghana, short runner, hits it, rather flat ball, goes behind for another corner. We'll quickly nip to Pat now with news of that goal.
Yunus Agpun, left foot just outside the box, makes it Leicester 2, Birmingham 0.
Thank you, Pat. Ghana then places it down. Once again, they're queuing up 12 yards out in a very crowded penalty area. Ghana once more near side the left. Krul couldn't get there. It'll come out towards Patterson, lifts the ball back in, header out by Morris, hit back by Harrison, left-footed, off target, Izzy Christensen.
Yeah, not a bad strike from Harrison there, just jumping onto the loose ball on the edge of the box, and we know he's got brilliant ability at striking the ball. He just catches it, goes over the bar, but wonderful connection with the ball nonetheless.
Well, so it was Mpanza for Lokonga, Chong came on for Townsend, and Woodrow coming on for Adebayo. So that was why there's still got Bell, Burke and Mengi at the back. Another goal at the Stadium of Light on Weir side of the Championship. Charlie Slater.
Sunderland 3, Stoke 1. Maybe this isn't over yet. Ridiculous goal. Cross to the back post. Sealed the fullback. And Patterson, the keeper, say, after you. It comes off Sealt and goes in. Own goal 3-1.
Elsewhere, Wycombe 1, Fleetwood 2. Wycombe have got a goal back. Blackpool 1, Charlton 1. It's Charlton a level there at Bloomfield Road. And Hibs have reduced the arrears at Rugby Park in the Scottish Premiership. Kilmarnock 2, Hibs 1. We'll give you all the latest scores in about 10 minutes time from the various competitions and divisions on this Saturday afternoon on BBC Radio 5 Live, where it's 1-1, the only FA Cup tie which actually is level, with Leeds still having a slender lead at home to Plymouth by 1-0. Leicester City, as we heard from Pat, now lead Birmingham by 2-0. That'll be a first defeat since Tony Mowbray took charge. And Sheffield United 2, Brighton and Hove Albion 3. Earlier, Maidstone United knocked out Ipswich. There's now been another goal at Ellen Road. Masfaruqi.
Equaliser for Plymouth. Much better from Plymouth in the second half. Adam Randall on the end of a good counter-attacking move forward, just beating Mellier inside the right-hand post. Leeds 1, Plymouth 1.
Stevenage have equalised at Wigan in League 1. Wigan 2, Stevenage 2. It's going to be a throw to Luton Town. Just over 18 minutes remaining. Benny takes it, bounces in field. Chong tries to switch play. Doherty was free and ahead of him on the left-hand side. Bell in the meantime picks it up, and now out to Doherty. Bell's going to continue on the overlap. Doherty with a cross into the box. Woodrow is there. Branthwaite with the header out, and Panzo heads it back in. Header out by Mikolenko. Comes to Barkley, who hit it. It was travelling off his left foot just outside the D, but it was always on the rise, and he sits down. He might have got a touch of cramp, Ross Barkley. Goal kick, Izzy Christensen.
Oh, it's not a nice feeling. I could just see him go into that state after he'd struck the ball on the edge of the box. And I was just going back to that Jack Harrison chance. I was overly kind with the technique on the shot. It wasn't great. And then that one from Barkley was much better with his left foot. He catches it on the half volley, strikes across it, and he's got cramp in the process.
Carlisle, who've only had one win in 13, they're struggling. They're next to bottom in League 1. They've got a goal back at home to Bolton Wanderers. Carlisle United 1, Bolton Wanderers 2 is the latest score. Let's get an update from Bramall Lane. Lee Blakeman.
Sheffield United 2, Brighton 3. We should be level though. Brereton Diaz, he's just got in behind in the penalty area, pulled it back to Jayden Bogle, running onto it, and his shot just deflected wide. Brighton still leading 3-2.
The other thing to say about Luton Town, commentary of that is on Sports Extra, by the way. You know, we were talking before about 22 passes they work over across to Luton Town. You know, they've only failed to score once in their last 10 games in all competitions. That doesn't smack of a side that's struggling.
No, it doesn't. I mean, the league table does, if you look at that. But, I mean, what I've seen today, you know, they look really exciting going forward. There's a lot to tighten up on, but the progress that they've made in the last 6 months since the start of the season has been exceptional. You can really see, like I said earlier, the patterns of play emerging.
Beto tries to wriggle free. Beto enters the penalty area. Shot takes a deflection and loops wide behind for a corner. Just couldn't get the shot away. I think it was Burke who got the block in.
Yeah, that battle between Mengi and Burke and Beto and Dom Calvert-Lewin has been fantastic to watch. watch it unfold. And at the moment, Beto and Dom Calvert-Lewin are on top.
They're going to bring on Joe Johnson as a teenage defender, which is just going to be his 4th appearance for the club, only his 2nd appearance of the season. And Luke Berry is also going to get a rare run out. Meanwhile, there's been another goal at Sheffield United going there in a moment. In comes the corner towards the far post. Tarkowski heads it, but it's off target. Doughty brings it under control, overruns it into the area. Harrison goes into a challenge. It was a 50-50 between Harrison and Doughty. Luton now, can they get the ball up towards Chong? He's onside, played on by Mikolenko. He's got to go it alone. 2 Royal Blue shirts snapping at his heels. Morris got players over on that far side. Luton really going for it. This is Mpanzu, edge of the area. Out towards Woodrow now. Woodrow, Mpanzu, edge of the box. Doughty, Barkley takes over. Still 1-1. This is Barkley, left corner of the area. The return ball. Barkley looks for a shooting chance. Barkley's shot blocked by Garner. Comes out towards Mengi. Waits. Luton apply the pressure. Still the substitutes wait to come on. 15 minutes remain. Ball played down. Doughty offside. So straight to Bramall Lane. News of that goal. Lee Blakeman.
Brighton have got a 4th. João Pedro's got a hat-trick. Side foot, edge of the area, into the bottom corner. A quarter of the game to go. Is that? Sheffield United 2, Brighton 4.
News of that Carlisle goal comes from Adam Cottier.
Yeah, not so comfortable now for Bolton. It's 2-1. Carlisle back in it. Jordan Gibson with a fierce right foot shot into the net. He scored a hat-trick against Bolton in October, and he scores again. Carlisle 1, Bolton 2.
Shrewsbury have got a second. Northampton 0, Shrewsbury 2. You're up to date. Ross Barkley is coming off as Luke Berry comes on, and he didn't necessarily get such a favourable reception for Everton supporters, unlike Andros Townsend.
Yeah, well, I wondered whether Andros Townsend would have got similar had he have got that assist moments earlier, that big chance that Luton went begging, which was cleared off the line by Nathan Patterson. Townsend was heavily involved in that, and then he got subbed a few minutes later.
I think it's clear though that Rob Edwards, with the changes that he's made, he's prioritising the visit of Brighton on Tuesday at Kenilworth Road. Luke Berry coming on for just his 6th appearance of the season. Joe Johnson coming on for Doughty. So Barkley and Doughty, the players who make way. Joe Johnson has only made just over an hour earlier on in his only appearance, his solitary appearance against Exeter in the League Cup in September. As we're up to date, with the exception of Hearts 2, Aberdeen 0 as the latest score from Tynecastle in the Scottish Premiership. Just over 10 minutes remaining. 1-1. Tim Krul waits to take the free kick, and Everton are going to be making a double change, and it's going to be Danjuma, and also we're going to be seeing Youssef Chemiti, who's going to be coming on, the young Portuguese forward. McNeil sent away in space, left hand side, 1-1, sends over the cross. Harrison with a volley, left footed, couldn't keep it down, into the Gladys Street it goes, goal kick.
Oh, that would have been spectacular from Jack Harrison. Wonderful ball across from Dwight McNeil, lovely weight on the pass, or the cross should I say. Just watching a replay, and Harrison, an acrobatic effort, he tries to sort of connect with the ball on the half volley in the air, back across goal, ends up going over the bar, but Jack Harrison has got that in his locker.
So Calvert-Lewin is one of the players coming off. 15 games now without a goal. He's replaced by Arnaud Danjuma, and we'll wait to see who the other change is going to be. McNeil is the other player. He didn't seem too best pleased, right, McNeil, to come off for Youssef Chemiti. But the changes have been made by Sean Dyche, who has a little look at his watch on his left wrist, and with 12 minutes remaining, this could be heading for, well, would be potentially the 4th or 5th tie to go to a replay. We had 3 last night. Leeds United and Plymouth are currently level at Ellen Road, but Chelsea, Villa, Sheffield Wednesday, Coventry, Bristol City, Forest last night. Talking of Bristol, let's get an update in the Rugby Union. Molly Stevens. Can't hear from Molly at the moment. Bristol Rovers 3, Oxford United 1 though. We'll keep the Bristol theme going. And Kilmarnock are down to 10 as they lead Hibs by 2-1 at Rugby Park in the Scottish Premiership. And also Dundee are down to 10 men as they are leading away at Livingston by 2-0. Just over 10 minutes remaining. In fact, Livingston now have reduced the arrears. Livingston 1, Dundee 2 is the latest score. Do you sense a winner from either of these two teams?
Again, you have read my mind, Dano. I think there's a goal in this. There's a winner in this.
Well, will it be for Everton? As Onana overruns that ball, gets a free kick though in the challenge in the midfield. As Simon Hooper, there was a little collision with Teden Mengi, who's still down actually. This would be a worry because they've actually used all of their 5 substitutes of Luton Town. They wouldn't want to necessarily see out the 10 minutes. I tell you what, we're going to take advantage of this little break in play. Giving the latest scores in the Scottish Premiership first of all. The full-time result earlier was St Mirren 0, Rangers 1. So Rangers moved at kick-off time to within 2 points of Celtic. Latest score, Celtic still leading through that Alistair Johnson goal in the first minute against Ross County. They've missed a retaken penalty. So Celtic still lead Ross County 1-0. Hearts 2, Aberdeen 0. Kilmarnock 2, Hibs 1. Livingston 1, Dundee 2. St Johnstone 1, Motherwell 1. They're the latest scores in the Scottish Premiership. Mengi's back on his feet. Free kick for Everton. Garner to take it, chips it into the penalty area. Onana's header might fall to Beto, who slips just as he had the connection. Flag was up on the far side anyway.
Yeah, he's lucky, Beto, because that was a big chance. Do you know what? I've seen Beto slip on the pitch so many times this afternoon, and he slipped again as he made contact with that ball. It was Onana who got the first touch off the set piece. He heads it back into an area. The deflection fell to Beto, and he should do better, but fortunately for him, the offside flag helped him out.
No slip-ups from Derby County. They've come from behind. Nikesh Ragani.
Yep, Derby 2, Cheltenham 1, and what a goal it was from James Collins, his 18th of the season, a crossing from the right. He found himself 12 yards out, a sideways scissor kick volley into the bottom corner. Derby County 2, Cheltenham 1.
Dundee have re-established their 2-goal cushion. Livingston 1, Dundee 3, MK Dons 1, Gillingham 0. Tim Krul is being told to hurry up. He's certainly taking his time. He tells the Everton supporters behind him in the Gladys Street end to calm down. I think actually maybe there might have been some sort of a VAR check, but again, that's the supporters. You haven't got the foggiest what's going on inside the ground with VAR. No indication whatsoever in the giant screens that was what was happening. So no wonder you could sense the agitation and the frustration from the Everton supporters. Latest scores then in League 2. Wimbledon 1, Mansfield 1. Mansfield are down to 10 men. They've equalised late on there. Oh no, Leeds equaliser from Will Swan just past the hour. Crewe 2, Salford City 2. Doncaster 1, Stockport County 5. The leader's going well there. Forest Green 0, Accrington 1. Grimsby 1, Tranmere 2. MK Dons 1, Gillingham 0. Morecambe 0, Colchester 1. Notts County 1, Barrow 1. Swindon Town 2, Bradford City 0. Their malaise continues without a win in 7. Walsall 1, Sutton United 1, and that's the latest in League 2. League 1 will follow very, very soon as Mikolenko tidies up back towards Virginia. The keeper for Everton clears away downfield. It's a high clearance too. Picked up now in the midfield by Berry to Reece Burke, rolls it just in front of him for O'Benny, cleared then by Mpanzu, headed back by Branthwaite, stabbed back to Everton by Berry in the midfield. Garner now comes forward, opens up on that far side the right, couldn't switch it towards Patterson, comes back in field. This is Danjuma now, plays it back towards Onana, and we have under 8 minutes remaining. This is Garner, just over the halfway line. Onana will go back to Virginia. Latest scores in League 1 then, Barnsley 0, Exeter City 2. That could be the end of Barnsley's undefeated run of 11 games. Blackpool 1, Charlton 1. Bristol Rovers 3, Oxford United 1. Cambridge 0, Burton Albion 0. Burton though are down to 10 men. Is Beto being held by Bell. Makes his way over on that far side and then in frustration gives away a free kick. Carlisle 1, Bolton 2, Derby 2, Cheltenham 1 as we've heard from Nikesh, Lincoln 0, Peterborough 0, Northampton 0, Shrewsbury 2, Port Vale 0, the leaders Portsmouth 0, Reading 1, Leyton Orient 1, Wigan 2, Stevenage 2, and Wycombe 1, Fleetwood 2, but Fleetwood are down to 10 men as Charlie Adam looks for his first win as Fleetwood manager. Izzy Christensen.
Yeah, that tackle on Beto again got the crowd roaring off their feet because they think it's a foul on Beto in the channel as he's chasing the ball, but what Beto does is he actually gets hold of Bell initially, and that is the way that Beto plays. He gets contact with the defender as well as them making contact with him, and that's what gets the crowd off their feet. But there was nothing in it for me. It was the right decision by the referee.
And we have 6 minutes remaining. Millwall 1, Preston 1 is the latest score in the Championship. The other game in the Championship's at the Stadium of Light, and after 3 straight defeats, Sunderland are back on the winning trail, it would seem, as they lead Stoke City by 3-1. And in the FA Cup 4th round, as you know by now, we've been mentioning it several times during the commentary, Maidstone beat Ipswich Town by 2-1. Latest scores: Leeds 1, Plymouth 1, Leicester City 2, Birmingham 0, Sheffield United 2, Brighton and Hove Albion 4, and you're up to date. As we'll get an update in the Rugby Union. Molly Stevens.
Well, the volume here at Ashton Gate is deafening. Bristol 47, Bath 41. Thomas Dutoy with Bath's 5th and 6th tries of the match. Bath chipping away at Bristol's defence now, Ian. Finn Russell with the conversions. Bath on the attack again. And Heward for Bristol has just been sent to the sin bin. Bristol 47, Bath 41.
Everton have just been awarded a free kick. There were some ironic cheers from the home supporters. We have 5 minutes remaining.
Yeah, it was the 2 number 8s, Berry and Onana, going head to head. My favourite number, like I said, my first lottery number.
It's the other 5 I'm more interested about now, as the ball goes up towards Chimiti, cleared by Luton Town. 18, 28, 38, 48. Here is Beto, battling for it, prods it into the path of Harrison, lifts it back into the 6-yard box, and Chimiti's header is scooped up by Tim Krul inside his 6-yard area.
And that was 28. Chimiti with a wonderful header back across goal, and nobody was there to what would have been a tap into an empty net for Everton, but no one anticipated it.
Is there to be a winner late on? Luton Town mentioned that they reached the 5th round in 2022. I was looking back at their history, watching old YouTube videos of the FA Cup quarter-final replay that they lost here in 1986, where Gary Lineker raced away to get the only goal. Derek Mountfield's extra time winner at Villa Park in the semi-final in 1985. For Luton Town, their last quarter-final was 30 years ago. David played in his second spell as manager against West Ham United. Could they muster up another cup run into the latter stages of this famous competition? They might be having another replay with Everton at the minute, 1-1, because we've got 4 minutes remaining as a line of stewards come out in front of the main stand here on the right hand side. Benny, Chong is up with him, turns, surrounded by blue shirts, back towards Burke. Burke takes it on, plays it on the inside to Leicester City we go, and Pat Murphy.
3rd goal for Leicester City. Ruddy lost out in an encounter with Cannon, squared it across. Accomplished finish from Dennis Pratt. Leicester 3, Birmingham 0.
Danjuma carries the ball forward. Danjuma cuts inside. He slips again as he hit it right-footed. The block came in anyway. As he had mentioned the fact that there have been a number of players slipping. Onana switches play. High ball out towards Harrison. Headed up. Not once, but twice as it was cleared away by Joe Johnson over on that far side. It's an Everton throw. I would imagine that there'd be at least 5 minutes of added on time. The amount of substitutions that have been made and the goal celebrations as Beto holds it up for Everton, rolls it out towards Harrison, far side the right. Harrison with a cross, headed away by Berry, helped further clear by Cauley Woodrow. Kilmarnock 2, Hibs 2 is the latest score in the Scottish Premiership. Wigan 2, Stevenage 3. Barnsley have got a goal back. Barnsley 1, Exeter 2 is the latest score. Everton are attacking. Harrison, shot takes a deflection. Into the penalty area it goes. Will come out to Mikalenko. Back to his feet. Left-hand side. Everton rolls it back to Danjuma. Danjuma comes to a standstill. Now accelerates. There's a little step over. 2 go with him. Down towards the byline with the cutback. A little shove actually. Zampanza will bring it clear. And the clearance from Garnett will go out of play for a throw. In one of our featured games in League One, it's a penalty at Vale Park. Katie Smith.
Penalty for Portsmouth. It is Colby Bishop standing over it in front of the Portsmouth away fan. Steps up now and he hits it down the centre and he puts his finger to his lips. He goes and celebrates in front of the away fans. They're going back top of the table. It's Port Vale 0, Portsmouth 1.
Will actually extend their lead at the top with second place Peterborough United drawing at Lincoln. Paul Trollope, I think, might have just spoken out of turn here. He was being told to calm down by Rob Edwards. As Cauley Woodrow has been told to leave the field of play. There must be a cut there on his hand, is there? Been told to get it taped up anyway by the physio. Crewe 2, Salford 3, Livingston 1, Dundee 4. The latest scores elsewhere. All that just will add on to the added on time that we're going to have as Garner crosses the ball from the left-hand side. Johnson was there to tidy up, cleared then further away by Bell, urged on by the home crowd. Woodrow waits to come back onto the field of play, temporarily down to 10. Patterson sends over the cross, came off the head of Burke. Oh, and then Burke and Chimiti have squared up to each other, and all of a sudden we've got a melee in front of the Gladys Street end now, and that has sparked both sets of players getting involved in a real melee. Not too sure what was said, but all of a sudden both sets of players have had to be pulled apart. It's fired up the crowd even more. Burke, I think, got Chimiti round the neck with his hands.
I missed that, Dano, but it's all got a bit messy out there, hasn't it? And Everton have got the corner, but everybody's got involved. Krul, Tarkowski, everybody.
Elsewhere, Wickham have equalised against the 10 men of Fleetwood, 2-2. MK Dons 2, Gillingham 0. As referee Simon Hooper has got to have a word here. VAR would be naturally having a look. I mean, at the end of the day, it's probably just handbags. So it's a yellow card shown to Burke, and there was no violent conduct, and so Burke and Chimiti are both shown a yellow card. But a little bit of spice at the end of this encounter. 5 minutes of added on time, which we're now into. At Goodison Park, 5 Live, the World Service and BBC Sounds. And Goodison Park will be hoping that something materialises from this corner kick. On this near side, the left. Luton Town have got everybody back. Garner to take it. In it goes, headed out by Mpanzu for Luton Town. Comes back to Harrison, who got the equaliser. Back it goes, Luton clear. Won back by Patterson. Garner now takes over. Garner chips it into the penalty area. He's overhit it. Overplaying, out for a goal kick, isn't he?
You can see what Garner's trying to do. He's actually trying to fake to shoot it and dink the ball over the top of the Luton defence. I think it was Beto that was the furthest player, but I've just seen a replay of what happened down there, the handbags. And it was the challenge Burke on Chimeti. The ball's gone out for a corner and Chimeti's come after him. And they've both got a bit of each other's shirt around the necks. Berry came in and broke them up. But yeah, well dealt with by the referee.
Yep, Simon Hooper, who was a late replacement, taking charge, handled that well. As it remains 1-1, and we've got 3 minutes remaining in this FA Cup 4th round tie. Commentary to come at 7 from Fulham against Newcastle. As Onana, forward ball, Chimiti takes it on, sliding challenge was a very good one by Mengi. Got there and got back to his feet and puts it out of play for a throw. Taken quickly, Harrison with the cross, right hand side, and Krul gathers it in. Safe hands on this occasion from the former Newcastle and Norwich goalkeeper. Gillingham have got a goal back in League 2. MK Dons 2, Gillingham 1. Carlisle 1, Bolton 3 is the latest score in League 1. And Luton Town are just looking to take up valuable seconds. It's finished at Leicester City. Leicester City 3, Birmingham City 0. So Leicester join Bournemouth and Manchester City as outright winners in the draw for tomorrow afternoon in the 5th round. A full hour of sports report coming up with Mark Chapman at 5 on BBC Radio 5 Live. Portman Road will quite rightly take priority after Maidstone United's stunning victory earlier. And Mpanzu plays the ball forward. By my watch, we've got 2 minutes remaining. Cleared by Onana, up towards Danjuma. Mikolenko, Chimiti, bounces off Burke, who was running back. Cleared then by Mengi. He finds Woodrow. Luton Town have an opportunity here. Woodrow couldn't pick out Morris. Branthwaite sliding back into the arms of his Brakefield goalkeeper, Virginia. News of that goal at Carlisle, Adam Cottier.
Yeah, 3-1 to Bolton. Kyle Dempsey against his old club, shifting the ball onto his left foot, and his low left foot finish found the net. Carlisle 1, Bolton 3.
Thank you, Adam. We've got 90 seconds remaining, is it?
Yeah, it's on a knife edge this. It's excellent to watch. Both teams don't want a replay, let's be really honest. They're going for it, and Luton just had the best chance. Woodrow should have squared it, but he waited too long, and then Branthwaite was able to come and cover and clear the ball, but Luton are back on top again.
Here is Burke, plays it forward. And that was a half-hearted clearance from Onana. Goes towards Chong. Ball out towards Johnson, far side the left. Cuts it back towards Chong, midway through the Everton half. Haven't necessarily had that same attacking intent since Barkley and Doughty left the field of play. But certainly had it not been for the brilliance of Virginia, they would have been through already. Luton Town as a cross from Burke is a high one from the right-hand side. Goes out of play for a Luton throw in front of their travelling support, and we're inside the last 40 seconds of added on time. Here is Morris in the penalty area. Unable to turn, stabbed behind by Tarkowski for a corner kick. It's finished at Ellen Road. Leeds United 1, Plymouth 1. So the long trek to Devon for a replay for Leeds United, who remain unbeaten at Ellen Road this season. But this has surely got to be it for Luton Town. 15 seconds remain. It's 1-1, and they've got a corner kick on that far side. Everybody is back for Everton. 10 royal blue shirts in a crowded penalty area. Corner far side the left, on that far side the left. Berry to take it. It's an in-swinger. Morris with a header. Another goal line clearance. Scramble. Put in. Corley Woodrow from close range snatches it at the death for Luton Town. Their first ever cup success over Everton. Luton Town. Real scramble. The last seconds of injury time, and Luton Town are ahead.
Oh, I tell you what, the corner was so cheap. It was Tarkowski just miscleared the ball, went out for a corner, and a wonderful whipped in-swinging ball from Berry. And it's just a second phase, and Woodrow's just lurking in and around the Everton goalkeeper, Virginia, and he just smashes it home from close range. Massive goal for Luton. I told you there's a winner in it, Deno.
You did, and you were absolutely right to say that. And Corley Woodrow off the bench for only his second goal of the season. His other one was against Gillingham in the League Cup. And just when everybody was thinking of a replay that you quite rightly said nobody wanted, but Everton would have taken that if they'd have had to. There'll be no time for Everton to respond. Corley Woodrow pounced, and Luton Town, through Corley Woodrow's right-footed, hammered the ball, and the Luton supporters are celebrating. And by my watch, the 5 minutes of added on time have already expired. Everton go long, headed away. And you think about the saves that Virginia made in the earlier in the second half as the ball is put up towards Beto, headed out by Johnson, and Panzu should run this clear. We're now at the discretion of the referee. Luton Town leading by 2 goals to 1, and there is the full-time whistle. They'd lost previously 3 times in the FA Cup and 4 times in the League Cup, but they've got their first ever win in a domestic cup competition, and Everton are out and Luton Town go through. Izzy Christiansen.
A hard-fought game, really transitional, end-to-end stuff, some real high quality, some real scrappy parts, a brawl. It had everything, and there was the winning goal in the last few minutes, or seconds should I say, and Luton, may I say, probably deserved that. Everton had 3 clean sheets coming into this match, and to concede 2, you can tell the disappointment on their faces, but massive win for Luton.
Full time then here at Goodison Park. Everton 1, Luton Town 2, with Corley Woodrow getting the winner in injury time.